pro
I don't know.
NBA Turkish player. No, it might be Turkoglu.
Didn't he have a son play recently? Or am I conflating him with who?
Stojakovic.
Yes, okay. That's what I was doing. Peja.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Is he
like Croatia or something like that?
I think he's Croatian.
Okay. Interesting stuff. We are keeping an eye on Tennessee baseball. We're on commitment watch, maybe dual commitment watch today on the show. Very exciting. So I don't speculate too much. I don't have any inside information on this one, Bob, but the internet seems to be abuzz with talk that Chris Ramirez, who is the top shortstop prospect in the transfer portal right now, could be, already committed to Tennessee and about to make it public at any moment.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good because how emphatic have we been about we don't have a shortstop, man?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's huge. And to add a play, I mean, this would be a definite upgrade over Manny Marin. I mean, we've wondered aloud if that was not the best move in the world to let Manny walk out that door. And we did that. This is the reigning WAC player of the year from Cal Baptist. Okay. If you're a casual, don't do it's Cal Baptist thing. That you can't do that in baseball, man. It's just this sport is completely different. First of all, they have good baseball at smaller schools all over the country, including Cal Baptist. Reigning WAC player of the year, WAC defensive player of the year. He was the WAC freshman of the year in 2025. So he's going into his junior season. In 252 at-bats last year, he hit 389 with a 452 OBP, over 1,000 OPS when he only hit 7 home runs last season. So this is an on-base machine, hit machine. He set the Cal Baptist record with 98 total hits last year. So this is a guy who would be a huge piece of the puzzle for Josh Elander if the rumors we're hearing are true.
We could be taking a page out of Oklahoma's playbook if we do this, because between him and Hanoyan, Oklahoma had kind of they went nuts in the College World Series as far as hitting the long ball, but most of the season, what really the straw that stirred the drink for them was they weren't quite like Kentucky, but they were a lot of OBS guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's different. And I don't know that this is so much a conscious decision from Josh Elander to switch up, his roster construction makeup, kind of what we talked about with Rick Barnes. I think if you're Tennessee, you still want to go power. I think power bats, power arms is what we built this program on, what we built this city on, rock and roll. And I think you got to continue to strive for that if you're Elander. But you have to take what you can get. And these are good pieces when you talk about Hanoyan and Chris Ramirez. Again, if he is the mystery player that's about to pop for Tennessee. I still think you want to go power, but in the absence of power, I mean, power is kind of like these 300-pound defensive tackles in the SEC. They don't grow on trees, right? It's like a 7-foot rim protector in basketball. Sometimes, there's a limited supply in there, and when you can't get that, sometimes you have to find a Dwayne Brown at 6'8" with long arms who can give you different things that can help you win, but you might not have the 6'11" rim protector out there. So this would be a big piece. And by the way, we still have plenty of power potential when you talk about Clark and Grinlinger coming back, who you're going to build your lineup around. Potentially having Grimmer back, who obviously has a lot of pop. And, Tyler Myatt was looking at his stats today. Like, he is tearing up the Cape Cod League right now. So is he a guy that takes the proverbial second-year jump at the University of Tennessee? But that's pretty exciting. On the heels of landing the kid from Louisville, big pitcher, yesterday. And we'll see, man. Josh Elander getting it done out there.
Absolutely.
Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to be joined by the CGP, Christopher Gabriel, joining from KMJ Fresno on the program this afternoon. He's out there at the center of World Cup fever out there in California, the Golden State. Also got a good view of what's going on with our boy, Tony Vitello, in the Bay Area. It's been a rough couple of weeks, rough year for Tony V, if we're being honest about it. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what CG has to say about that. And we'll talk some football with him. I think he's got some thoughts on Josh Heupel in the upcoming season. So one thing's for sure, CG, going to bring the energy coming up here in just a few minutes. We are going to hit the turbo button on the drive this afternoon. Bob, I know why you are excited this afternoon. It's a big basketball day. There was an open practice at the gym over at the campus, the gym, Thompson Bowling Assembly Center and Arena.
Yeah, it's a little
gym. Yeah, they've got a nice workout facility
yes.
over there. And so there are reports coming out of that. We've got Greg Polinsky, Tennessee assistant, coming up live on the show in hour number 2. We're very excited about that. And we had 2 more players get drafted yesterday in Gillespie and Felix Acapara.
Yeah, it is these are the good old days for Tennessee basketball. I know we haven't hit a Final Four yet, but we could change that this year. And man, the amount of guys that are moving on to the league over the past few years, it's good, man. It's good. And so I thought it was fitting that we were able to get GP on with us, not to be confused with CG. Then we got LP later.
CG, right? GP, LP coming up on the show. Probably best not to do the initial thing today just for the sake of cohesion and letting everybody know. It's the second time, by the way, in the Rick Barnes tenure that we've had 3 guys drafted. I mean, how many years in the dark ages for folks of my generation growing up in the 80s, 90s, 2000s did you have nobody drafted?
Well, speaking of the dark ages, I was looking it up for the show earlier. It's the second time Rick Barnes has done it. Tennessee, in their entire history of basketball, has only done it 4 times, having 3 guys drafted. So
I know
has half of them in the past less than a decade, and we've been playing basketball here for near a century.
I know 2019, Grant, Admiral, and Bone was the other Barnes. What was the other years? Do you know that?
One was in the 50s and one was in the 60s,
really?
I believe. Or 70s.
Ernie and Bernie went in the same draft, didn't they, in the late 70s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Was there another guy that year?
Could have been. I'm not sure. That's beyond me.
So it was 1950 and 1977.
77 would be Ernie and Bernie?
I would guess. Yeah, 77, Bernard King, Ernie Grunfeld, and Mike Jackson.
I was gonna say Michael Carter, but yeah, Mike Jackson. That's wild.
They had 7 rounds in this draft.
Yeah, back in the day, it was.
Forget about those rules.
And just go on and on, huh?
And there were less teams too. Yeah, because that's
bizarre.
That was right around the time of the ABA merger and everything else. So
it was 12 rounds in the 1950s.
Who were the guys in the 50s?
It doesn't say in this article. It just said we had a trio picked in the 1950 class that went 12 rounds.
Bear
was a little different back then.
Bear is listening, and he asked us. He said, "Please let the anthem play out. I want to hear it while I'm driving."
I'm sure you do. Bear, listen, you can. This isn't the all request lunch hour, okay? If you want to listen to your Soviet Red anthem on the way out there to root on the Turks, then turn the show off and pull it up on YouTube or something. I don't know what to tell you, but this is the United States of America, and we're pulling for the Stars and Stripes tonight, baby.
It is a little bold for him to say, not only am I not here, but I want you to play my anthem all the way up.
I mean, call me crazy. When you take a day off, you take a day off. He's still listening to the show, trying to influence it from afar. Sorry, dude. You're done.
If you're not here, you're not influenced. Also, you probably have a CD copy that you keep in your car CD player.
Oh, it's on his phone.
Oh,
his CD player. How old do you think Bear is?
He's
like 85 or something.
He's got the lyrics tattooed inside his wrist.
Do you really think he has a CD player in his car?
No.
Do you have a CD player? When did they stop making?
CD player in
you
car.
do?
My car's like 2009. They still have CD player.
Yeah. When did they stop making CD players in the car?
It's 2009's the earliest car I've had, so I don't know.
It's probably been 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, I think I didn't have one on my last one, and that was a 2016.
Yeah.
And then the car I had before that was a 2007, and it did have, I think it had one. Remember, you had a little sleeve on the back of your visor, yeah, with have about 10 CDs, which you would get sick of within a couple of weeks. And then you just have those same 10 CDs up there that you never listened to because, Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you're kind of burying the lead. Did you follow somebody?
Oh, man.
Is he talking about it?
Is he bragging?
He thanked you. He just wrote Russ.
Yeah, he should, man.
He should.
Russ,
I
thank you
followed
so much.
Joshy Boy on X. He's been bugging me about it for over a week now. Joshy Boy, the ball's in your court, man. And I'll just say, like, a follow is not forever. This is a tentative follow, very much a tentative type thing. You're on the clock now, big boy. Show me something. You got to keep me interested. This is like a relationship, man. You can't let this thing go stale. If you don't bring it to the table, Joshy Boy, I'll unfollow you in a heartbeat.
They call this a PIP, a performance improvement plan, where
is that what they call it?
Well, some jobs and stuff, but it sounds like that's kind of your expectation is like, okay, I'm following you, but now you got to really show.
I like that. We need some pips around here.
Yeah.
Walker, I'm giving you a pip, big boy. Performance improvement plan.
I will wait patiently for that plan.
You better.
Walker's scrambling back there. He's doing a lot.
I mean, already Bears Gone and the production quality of the show has improved tenfold. Stay with us. We got to take a quick time out. The CGP is patiently awaiting KMJ Fresno, where he is, of course, Christopher Gabriel. Coming up next, Josh Heupel on the hot seat. No, certainly not, right? Isn't everybody on the hot seat nowadays?
Yes.
In college football? We'll talk to the CGP coming up next right here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive. Can't get enough Fan Run Radio? Download the free Fan Run app and take the best Tennessee sports conversations with you wherever you go.
It's official. It's summer. And how does East Tennessee do summer? With your Knoxville Smokies, of course. Only 5 homestands remaining. So if you haven't been to a game yet, what are you waiting for? Next week is a huge week with all-you-can-eat Wednesday, Knox Vegas Thirsty Thursday, Friday fireworks, and then Saturday, we're celebrating our country's 250th birthday. America's favorite pastime and fireworks. Is there a better way to celebrate? And come meet Bluey on Sunday. Don't miss the fun. Get your tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the old
The thrill of traveling with C&B's exclusive travel program. Customers age 50 and above with a Plus Perks checking account can participate, ensuring a safe and delightful travel adventure. Take a day trip or an overnight trip. Travel domestic or international. C&B is always on the go.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Malone at Knoxville Smiles. Has it been a while since your last dental visit? If so, I'd like to invite you to come see us. At Knoxville Smiles, it's our vision to provide the best dental care in town in a relaxed, friendly environment. So if it's been a while and you
with the Sacramento Kings. Wow. Proud day for Catholic alums all over East Tennessee. And good for BJ. He did well, man. He was a nice player. Would have liked to see how his career would have turned out here if he had stuck around. Obviously, he's doing something right if he's signing a deal in the NBA today.
Yeah, all you need at this point, you don't get drafted. You get one of those UDFA deals and just have a shot, man. It happens. Like we were talking about, Austin Reeves is the prime example. That's, by the way, we talked about him yesterday. That's the biggest contract signed ever by an undrafted free agent.
Almost as much as the contract you signed here when you joined the drive.
All the water I can drink, baby.
Let's go to the Newsmaker hotline where Christopher Gabriel of KMJ Fresno is standing by. CG, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm doing very well. You're talking about Sacramento Kings. That up in Sacramento, the main sports station up there is Sacktown Sports 1140. I have filled in up there on a number of occasions and talked Sacramento Kings basketball on a number of occasions. I hope the young man does well there because that organization, if they're known for anything, it's all the screwy decisions they make. Think about this. They thought it was a good idea to get rid of De'Aaron Fox because who did they have behind him? Nobody. They had nobody, and they had nobody coming in. Mike Brown, elite assistant for Steve Kerr, winning 4 championships in Golden State. He takes over the Kings, takes them to the playoffs. Big improvement over the previous year. The following year, last year, he starts out poorly, 7 or 8 games under 500 in the first 15, 16 games. So what do the Kings do? They fire him. What does Mike Brown do? Well, he goes to New York and wins an NBA championship. So the Kings, if they're known for anything, it's 2 things. It's one, they sell out every game. They have a phenomenal fan base. But number 2, they just have idiots running that organization. And by the way, smooth transition here to cars. I don't have a CD player, but I would have pointed out my first car in the age neighborhood of myself with Bob Baskerville. My car was a 1971 burgundy Pontiac Catalina with a hardtop and an 8-track and shag carpeting.
There you go.
Wow. The Babe Mobile, as it was known around town back in the day.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. That's why they called me the Greek Streak, baby.
Hey, before we get into anything else, when you just brought back some memories with me, one of my favorite periods of NBA basketball involved the Sacramento Kings, and that was back when they had Weber, Jason Williams, Vlade Divac.
Arco Arena.
Vlade Divac, as a former draft intern who will remain unnamed once said.
I mean, God, the only problem was they were, the Lakers stood in their way at that point. But
Doug Christie,
Bobby Jackson. I mean,
Mitch Richmond stopped by there for a minute.
He might have. That was a fun team.
Yeah.
Man, you're right. The fun team, and that was the old Arco Arena days. And that place was an absolute cauldron of noise because, it seated something like, the capacity was something like 17,500, but it was a very low, flat roof. It was reminiscent in terms of how low the roof was to the floor of Stokely. It just had that sort of feel to it. And the people of Sacramento, they're good folks up there. They really turn out for basketball, but they've really never, those teams you're talking about those were really good, fun teams. But they've just never really been able to get it together. A lot like the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've had talent over the years, but they've made so many ill-fated decisions because of front office management. People like, Kevin McHale was a great player. He was no front office person, and I think the results showed that.
Well, they got LaMelo Ball now. So that's
they're on him and Anthony Edwards. What a combo that's going to be.
The missing link to put them over the top. Christopher Gabriel,
yeah.
KMJ Fresno.
Yeah, he's a link, all right.
CG, let's stay out in your neck of the woods, the great state of California, where coming up tonight, I'm very excited. The U.S. men's national team takes on Turkey in the World Cup. Of course, the Americans have already qualified for the knockout round, so we're going to see some squad rotation tonight. We won't get too far in the weeds on that, but I would like to know how big a deal is the World Cup right now in the Golden State?
It's huge. I mean, it's absolutely huge. You're talking about, of course, Los Angeles Stadium / SoFi and Santa Clara Stadium, or whatever they're calling it, Levi Stadium. You know, what's happened out here, there's 40 million people in this state, and it is a large soccer-loving state. You have a lot of communities that will follow for high school, will follow their boys and girls soccer teams as much or more than their high school football teams. And that is no knock on high school football, because high school football in this state is massive.
Sure.
But soccer in Los Angeles is like the air we breathe. And when I drove down there a couple of weeks ago, it happened to be on our opening match, the opening night match that we had. And there were car flags. It was like going to an SEC football game and you're out on the interstate. There were car flags for Brazil, Spain, Portugal. Now, these teams have not, played in Los Angeles yet, but fans were ready. There were watch parties everywhere. Restaurants are full. Hotels are full. They were having some beach watch parties. That's Southern California. Up in Santa Clara, I don't know if it was a few nights ago or a week ago. I forget when it was, but it was a match. It was countries. It was like Algeria and Jordan. It was kind of in the grand scheme of things, with all due respect to those countries, it was kind of a nothing match. There were 70,000 people. I think they said there were something like 400 empty seats. This is in Santa Clara, home of the 49ers, which, for those of you unfamiliar with Santa Clara, it's about 45 minutes to an hour south of San Francisco. The stadium sits in a beautiful area, but it's an industrial park. There's rolling hills or what have you, but it's not like going to Fenway Park, or going to Wrigley Field. It's kind of in the middle of a lot of parking spaces and industrial parks and little mini strip malls that are very nice, but you had that area absolutely overwhelmed by people just having a good time, singing in parking lots, makeshift bands for the country's teams. So this state has been alive with excitement. We certainly have talked about it on my morning program every day. And you mentioned our match tonight again. When did we start calling Turkey the traditional name Turkey?
I
don't remember.
I was on this yesterday, CG. I don't get it, man. It's
I don't. I first heard it 3 years ago at a USA women's national team volleyball match at Long Beach State in the Pyramid there against Turkey, and I hear tonight USA against Turkey, and I thought I had to hear an echo. I didn't hear that right. I'm sure I didn't. You're talking about the match tonight, though. There's a lot of excitement. I know from a buddy of mine from the LA Times who's already on the SoFi grounds. He said there's already people partying and having a good time in the parking lot. By the way, regarding the match tonight, I'll just say this. I do hope that we at least see the starters, and if Pulisic can play, let them play a little bit. I do not want to back into the round of 32 with a 1-1 draw against a country that has not scored a goal yet. I want to see the momentum continue. I mean, as you know, our first entry in the World Cup was 1930. We've never swept a group stage. So good on us, good on America. We've looked really good. I don't know how good we are yet because we haven't played anybody like an Argentina or a Spain or a Portugal or even England. Of course, England's still bitter because they haven't won since 1966. So I hope we see some of the big guys get a lead and then rest everybody.
Yeah, that's if I can interject there. I'm a little bit more of a casual when it comes to soccer. I'll definitely be watching tonight with great interest, but that's one of the questions I would have. I would think, given the level of opponent that Turkey A, as we'll call them, is, the
not to be confused with Turkey B.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly I agree with the notion of getting Pulisic some run. But to your point, also, it feels like you want to avoid worst case scenario having somebody get yellow carded or something else. You want to avoid that for the ensuing games.
Right. Yeah. By the way, do you guys ever yellow card Bear? When he makes a comment and it's just out of line, and Rusty, you flash the yellow at him?
I mean, we probably should, CG, but honestly, if we're doing soccer referee stuff here in studio, Bear would just get a straight red card most of the time.
That's a very good point.
Just sent off.
That's a very good point.
And some would say that would improve the show. Bear catching a lot of strays so far here on the drive this afternoon. Hey, CG, let's stay in the great state of California and ask you about our guy, Tony Vitello. The Giants have been on the struggle bus all year long. Now they've stepped in it. You know, they've got this huge PR controversy regarding the Pride Night and all that stuff out there. The team is terrible. You've got the Devers situation. The media seems to be really piling on Tony and all that stuff there. And it just feels like, man, that they're, you know, I don't know if he's getting a fair shake or not, but it does seem like all of a sudden Buster Posey, his boss, is in the crosshairs a lot as well. And if he gets fired, CG, I just wonder what that means for Tony. Is this in danger of being a one and done scenario for Tony Vitello and the San Francisco Giants?
Well, it is you set that up perfectly, and it is a complicated situation. Let me see if I can shed a little bit of light on it, because I have certainly people that I deal with inside the Giants organization and tons of media folks up there. You know, their flagship is KNBR, which is a station that is owned by the same company that owns my station here, KMJ. And right off the bat, it's got to be frustrating for Tony, who obviously, I don't need to say it, I'm a big fan and big supporter of. Hated seeing him leave Knoxville, but big supporter of his. You have their flagship, members of their team, some of their writers, on-air people, openly ripping him. And you want honesty and integrity from your hosts, from your website writers, but at the same time, at times, some of what I have heard and read seems excessive. It seems like some are going, I'm not going to get into naming and stuff. People can find that on their own, but it at times it seems like some are going out of their way to rip him because they didn't like his hiring to begin with. And it's not like the Giants were tearing it up the last 4 or 5 years, 4 years in particular. I mean, they are below where they were last year, but this is a team that really hasn't broke 500 in 4 or 5 years. So you have that aspect. You have Buster Posey, who has the backing and the support of everybody in the organization, and this is where it gets a little bit dicey. If Buster Posey, if they decide, you know what, we don't like the whole direction of this. We gave him a lot of authority to do what he wanted. We bought in. We liked the idea of bringing Tony Vitello in. Clearly, he knows how to take not an organization, but a program and elevate it to the point where Tennessee wins the national championship. We think, given time, based on Buster, what he's told us about this gentleman, Tony Vitello, we think that it's a good move. If the organization suddenly decides they're pulling their support of Buster Posey, I think it could be a one and done for Tony. And I really haven't thought that until the last probably 2 or 3 weeks. The other side of this coin, fellas, is the organization does love Buster Posey, and I guarantee, I can tell you this, 99.9%, Buster is saying, listen, it's not gone well. We've had flashes. We've had moments. We've had times like when Devers and Tony were talking up in first class on the plane, and it was a winning conversation, and it was a winning moment. And there's been clubhouse moments that have been positives. The players have not lost faith in him. We need to give him time. We can't do 1 year. You're not going to see the results in 1 year. Sometimes these things take some time. And if that's the position that the hierarchy above Buster Posey takes, Tony's going to be safe for another year. There is frustration, no doubt. You mentioned the whole Pride Night thing. That's another story in and of itself. And Buster, I don't know that he really handled that press conference that well. I get it. We've all done pressers when we've had a coach or a GM up there saying, I'm only going to answer such and such questions. That gets old. That's not Buster Posey. It felt to me like that answer that he gave over and over, and I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. That felt like it came from above.
Yeah.
Because that's not who Buster Posey is, guys. He is a straight up, here's what I think. You might not like it, or you might like it. But even if you don't, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. This was completely the opposite of him. So I think Tony right now is, as best as I can ascertain, in a bit of a precarious situation because, yes, the team has underperformed at times. They've had their moments. They've largely underperformed. And we don't know what upper management above Buster Posey thinks of Buster right now if he still has their support. And I think that's the fulcrum on this, guys.
I was going to ask you, tied to that too. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but we know we've heard enough stories about Rafael Devers that he's kind of a petulant personality, et cetera, and this whole thing that happened a couple of nights ago. But more and more, if you listen to Devers' recanting of the situation, it almost sounded like nothing to see here, maybe. But the problem is, it feels like the fuse has been lit in so many different ways that they're, media, everybody's just on watch for something to get triggered by.
Well, Bob, it's a good point, and I think it falls into the category of two things can be true. I think on the way you set this up, on the there's nothing to see here part of it, that is, I believe, largely due to the conversation on the plane that him and Tony had.
Yeah.
It was a calm clearing of the air. Well, here's where I'm coming from. Here's where I'm at. Okay, well, here's where I'm at. Here's what I expect. And by all accounts, it was a very, very positive air clearing, so to speak. But at the same time, the second part of this, the two things can be true, is that, like you said, the fuse has been lit. And where this thing goes now, it's almost like it's too late. It's like when somebody does something wrong and they're rather indignant about it the whole time when he or she is getting accused of something, and then they found out then proof comes out that they did that, and suddenly they become completely conciliatory. They become very contrite, and it's only because they got caught. And there's a little bit of a feeling of that here too. That you have what went on, and so now you have a couple of different spinning wheels in play here, and thinking of a couple of wheels on a board. Where's the roulette wheel going to? Where's the number going to stop? The ball going to stop on one wheel? Where's it going to stop on the other? And who's going to be left standing once all is said and done?
Christopher Gabriel, KMJ Fresno, kicking it with us here this afternoon on the program. All right, CG, we can't let you out of here without getting your take on Tennessee football. We're around 70 days, give or take a few, till kickoff against Furman. Year 6 of the Josh Heupel era. Where does the time go? Interesting outlook here. You go to the 9-game conference schedule. You've got the tough road game at Georgia Tech. What are your thoughts on Josh Heupel, the temperature around Tennessee football heading into 2026?
Do I have the nickname right? Is it the Paladins?
Hey, my parents are both Furman grads. A little respect, please.
I didn't know that.
They are. Yeah.
Well,
Greenville.
I'm giving.
You are correct. It's the Paladins.
Yeah, I fully respect mom and dad of Russ, and you and I both would agree. Maybe Bob wouldn't or Walk would, but you don't just have the Furman Paladins come into Neyland and think you're going to walk all. You don't do that. Well, you and I, in particular, and Bear, go back to literally day one of the Josh Heupel era, because you had me on the next day, as you'll recall, and I've been behind him from day one. I am still behind Josh Heupel, but that comes with some caveats. Namely, this is year 6, as you said. I thought by year 5, this football program would be a legitimate contender for a national championship. They have not been. I thought that we would be seeing at least regular top 10 and occasionally top 5 recruiting classes. We have not seen that. We knew that going in, that Josh, with the rep on him was that he wasn't a great recruiter. We've seen plenty of talent come to Knoxville, but we've seen plenty more go elsewhere. And this is going to be a tough year. It could be, because obviously we don't know, is it Faison? Is it George? Who's at quarterback? Is it the other fella from, Colorado? He hasn't gotten a lot of mention. I have a feeling you're going to see him in games, in that Furman game, but that's another discussion. I don't know if I would put Josh on the hot seat yet, but I'm going to say this. I would have him on the warm seat, because is he a great offensive mind? He is. Is he somebody who players respect? I believe everything we've seen, by and large, is. I don't make anything of the fact that players leave. Players leave every program, from the Ohio States and the Texases and the Furmans, right on down. Players leave every program. But you have a situation where if this team this year, irrespective of everything else, goes, I don't think they're going to go 7-5. I think they're going to be better. But what if they go 7-5? What if, heaven forbid, they pull a 7-5, 8-4? Either way, what does Danny White do? Because Danny White has done a lot of good things. He's also done some things that people have questions about. Sometimes people forget, irrespective of all the things I do or don't think about the Neyland Entertainment District, and I think largely it should be a positive. I don't necessarily want to see a hotel rising above Neyland, but that's not my decision. But I think he's done more good than not so good. But in many respects, when you get past all of that and hiring of Olympic sport coaches and improvements on other facilities, at the end of the day, at a place like Tennessee, no different than a Florida, an LSU, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan, and so on, what is your head football coach doing? What is your football program doing? And how much of Danny White, in his overall view of the landscape that is Tennessee football, how much of it is tied to what Josh Heupel does this year? And if Josh Heupel and this team falter, I don't think we're going to see as many injuries this year as we've seen too much of in the last 3-4 years because of the strength and conditioning guy they brought in. I think we're going to see a much better healthy team on the field. But if they go down into a 7-5 or even 8-4 season, Russ, Bob, is Danny White of the mind that he would say, we might need to go in a different direction here? And I don't have an answer to that, because he hitched a lot to Josh. I think most of us, and I would be willing to say Danny White as well, believes that this program would be much more a 1 or 2 loss team right now than what we saw last year and what we may see this year. So I have some concerns. I don't put him on a hot seat, but I do think it's fair in year 6 to at least have that seat a little bit, turned up to maybe on a 1 to 10 on the burners, maybe turned up to about 3 or 4.
I got one more question for you regarding football.
Yeah.
We've beaten this one up a lot, but I think about you because of my time when I lived on the West Coast. How are you feeling about getting up at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning to watch Tennessee and Texas?
I hate it. I've had all kinds of reasoning given to me by a lot of different people, friends, media, everything. I understand the other games that are in play that day, and I'm not interested in those explanations. I'm just not. You're telling me that two monster names in athletics, Tennessee and Texas, that fight about everything right down to who's the real UT, two programs that have not met on the field since, I believe, 1969 in the Cotton Bowl. Texas has never come to UT. You have Arch Manning coming to the home of Peyton Manning. How ABC couldn't put this game as their primetime game? Don't tell me about Texas A&M and LSU. They play every year. Or what is it, Ole Miss and Georgia? Well, that's the other game, is it not?
Oklahoma and Georgia.
Oklahoma and Georgia. You're telling me that Oklahoma and Georgia holds more national appeal than the various subplots of a Texas-Tennessee game at night in Neyland Stadium. Come on. That's ridiculous. I will be up at 9 a.m. to watch the Pantone 151C versus the dark brown. But I just, it's ridiculous. And if I was in the offices of ABC on 6th Avenue, New York, I would tell them the same thing. That is ridiculous.
And then they would promptly escort you outside of the building. What is this guy in the all orange
yes,
doing?
They would.
CG, I guess the good thing for you is when you're at work on a weekday at 6 a.m., being up at 9 a.m. to watch football isn't that big a deal.
No, when game day has been in Knoxville, I'm up. I'm on the Blackstone. I'm making hash browns, bacon. I'm making eggs, omelets. I'm ready to go. We've got it cooking here, ready to go. I think the time is not a problem, and the time zone here, this time zone is ideal. I mean, we can watch Sunday or Monday night football, anything, or Saturday night prime time that starts at 4 or 4:30, and then go out to dinner after the game. But the game itself should not be a 12 noon game.
Right.
I mean, they're trying to combat the big game, whatever they call it, the Big Ten, the big this, big that. What are we? What are we going up against Purdue and Iowa? But come on.
I've always said you throw the records out the window when the Boilermakers and Hawkeyes connect on the football field. But hey, that's another story for another day.
You got a lot of big farm boys going at each other there.
Yeah, a lot of corn-fed dudes getting after it. CG, always appreciate it, my man. Have a great weekend. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Love you guys. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you, Chris.
Christopher Gabriel, KMJ Fresno. You can follow him on X at CG Program. Still on commitment watch for Tennessee baseball. We'll reset that for you when we continue. It is The Drive on Fan Run Radio. Stay with us.
Exclusive Fan Run video content on YouTube. Just search Fan Run Sports and be sure to like and subscribe.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Where are the best ribs in the Volunteer State? Rickard Ridge. Who has the best barbecue catering packages in East Tennessee? Rickard Ridge. And where is the most beautiful setting to enjoy a meal with family and friends? Rickard Ridge. Rickard Ridge Barbecue. Just a quick ride up I-75, take exit 134, hang a right, and Rickard Ridge is on your left, just inside Cove Lake State Park.
Vol fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party, just like your favorite baseball team? Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
Hard Seltzer Studios. Thanks to Christopher Gabriel for stopping by. As I said before the break, we are on commitment watch for Tennessee baseball, and I can tell you the latest on Chris Ramirez. Bobby has not made anything public, but apparently he just followed Josh Elander's wife on Instagram.
Wow.
Well, and it might as well be official at that
I
point.
mean, why would he be following Elander's wife on Instagram if he actually don't answer that?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not go there.
Yeah, so that's good. I'll tell you the other name that is being speculated about on the internet, and there's a guy on X who goes by
Volsack.
He's got 45 followers, but he's been producing. He's got I mean, he's cutting in on Richard G. West's territory, really. I mean, he needs to be paying royalties, quite frankly. But Volsack has already put out the – I know. Listen, if you can't trust Volsack on Twitter, who in this crazy world can you trust, right? But Volsack said he's already put out commitment graphics for Chris Ramirez, and he has one out for Andrew Duncan. Now, he's the only one I've seen out there put anything about Andrew Duncan online. But Duncan is an outfielder from Wright State, put up big numbers last year for Wright State, hit 367, 436 OBP, 577 slugging percentage. Another guy with low home run numbers, but high OPS anyway, had 8 triples on the year at Wright State. So, I mean, just on paper, that looks like a good pickup, but I don't know, Bob. What do you think? How much stock are we putting in Volsack? You're the media expert here. You tell me.
I don't know. This is my first introduction to Volsack.
I mean, like,
to be honest.
Where are we ranked when you got Volsack? How does he compare to Bear Source mustard tosser?
Any one of Bear's sources raises major questions right off the bat. So I'd give the edge to Volsack there, but
over mustard tosser?
Yes.
Okay.
Mustard tosser may not even exist. That might just be a figment of Bear's imagination. You just don't know.
That's a good point. Could be a fever dream.
It could be. Look, Volsack's bringing some potentially good news. So I want to believe.
I want to believe Volsack.
I do too.
We've got Greg Polinsky coming up in hour number 2 on the program.
Let's refrain from any Volsack questions for GP. Deal.
You don't think he trusts Volsack?
I'm sure he doesn't even know.
I don't think GP's keeping up with the baseball transfer portal. I think he's got enough on his own plate.
Sure does. Sure does. There's a lot that we can talk about with
yeah. I'm interested to get his thoughts on the guys who got drafted, but honestly, Bob, I'm much more interested in just asking him about the new guys. Juke, Jalen Harrelson, Terrence Hill Jr.
Yep.
Getting thoughts on those guys. We'll cover it all with GP coming up here in hour number 2 of the program. Bob, I'm afraid when we go back for our post-production meeting here after the show and we review our numbers as we do every day on the program, I'm worried about hour number 1.
How so?
And no offense to CG. I mean, that's what we break out the big guns because we were up against it. Butch Jones was on Andy Staples' YouTube show.
Butch Jones is ass.
Yes, which was live this hour. So we had to go up against that. Butch Jones was live talking about his time at Arkansas State as well as his time here at Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's critical.
Even apparently talked about the genesis of Brick by Brick.
Oh, God.
Which
it's critical.
Can't wait to go back and listen to. That's going to be riveting.
The genesis of Brick by Brick.
Yes.
I mean, that's a story we didn't even know we needed.
We still don't. But I'll give it a
We
listen.
don't need it, or we don't know that we need it.
We don't need it.
We don't need it.
At all. I'm stunned he's on there, but I'm sure I'll check it out.
Well, we need the top 4 at 4. Walker Smith has that. A quick look around the world of sports coming up next right here on Fan Run Radio. Stay with us.
The Drive. Fan Run Radio, the flagship station for Tennessee fans.
This ain't no wishy-washy, limp-wristed, kale-eating, half-ass sports radio station.
We're your in-your-face, truth-telling, say it loud, flag-waving, face-painting, hardcore, bring the noise, causing a ruckus, don't give a damn sports station.
Sports talk that doesn't just hang up and listen.
For the fans. This is Fan Run Radio.
Get some.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half, simple luxury for on and off the course.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Are you ready for the start of a new season? Maybe looking for your team to go on a tournament run? Get game day ready with Crumble. Head on over to your nearest location and pick up 12 pre-selected cookies plus exclusive toppers. When you're looking for dessert options, there's no question about who you should call on. Our listeners already know. Last year, the Dubai chocolate was a home run, along with the brownie batter. Oreo crumb was another crowd favorite. What new flavor will set the standard this season? If you're in the Knoxville area, there are 3 locations ready to serve you: Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive, and Maryville. Download the Crumble app to build your best lineup and vote on the best combos. You can even put your bid in to request a new flavor. Order in the app and slide on over to your nearest location. Tell them Fan Run sent you, and as always, it's for the fans, by the fans. Don't miss the cookies.
Are you thinking of buying a home but don't know where to start? Well, call VFL Josh Travis, your local mortgage expert with Foundation Mortgage, based right here in Knoxville. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, he'll keep the process simple every step of the way. To get started, visit mortgagebrokerjosh.com or call 423-312-9777 today. Foundation Mortgage Company, LLC is an equal opportunity housing company. NMLS number 1387311.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
It's time for the Drive's Top 4 at 4.
Hour number 2 of the Drive underway, and it's the Top 4 at 4, brought to you by ECR Total Landscapes. Walker Smith, what you got?
Thank you, Russ. At number 1, Rick Barnes took the podium today to address the media with his new squad participating in summer workouts and had an open practice today. He said, quote, "We're wanting to play with speed, and we have thrown a lot at them, and they've done well to handle it," Barnes said. He also told reporters that they do have an extra roster spot that, quote, "If we find the right guy, we can do that."
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, there's been this whole there's supposedly 2 walk-ons that had scholarship positions, and Campbell Duncan's one, and I forget the name of the other one, and I don't hear the other guy's name anymore. So maybe that's how it came available.
Yeah, well, there's also this whole concept, which I don't understand at all. I need to read up and get a grasp on this, but the DSA thing, designated student athlete, that provides some leeway, I know in baseball, but apparently in basketball as well, to work around the 15 scholarship limit, basically. So I don't know that they would necessarily have to kick anybody off. I mean, clearly Barnes says that they can add a guy. Now, it doesn't sound like he's in a rush, like, oh, yeah, and he's never a take a guy to take a guy kind of coach. But that, listening between the lines, it sounds like if there were a big man that fit into what they've got, what they want to do, that maybe that's something they would pursue, but it doesn't sound like they are desperate to add anyone either.
But it does feel like they're not saying it, but it would, I agree with you, it almost have to be a big. I can't imagine it would be any other position. We're so flush with talented players elsewhere.
I don't know. I see it more as that extra roster spot that he could keep to potentially bring in an international guy late, the type of thing he's done in the past.
I'm not against stealing a guy from Will Wade just to do it, just for fun.
Yeah.
Funsies.
I mean, there's a lot we can do. There's a lot we don't even know what we can do with an extra roster spot these days in the NCAA. Like, who knows? Maybe someone wants to come back and play. Who knows?
JP
Estrella.
Man, what if you could keep Felix for another year? I mean, I know it's over now, but I mean, if you could keep any of those 3 guys that you just lost, it would probably be him, right?
Felix?
Even though, well, I mean, Nate, obviously, but
yeah, it would be Felix, just out of need.
Yeah.
Need for this team? Yeah, for sure. At number 2, the D1 Football Oversight Committee is proposing changes to the offseason and preseason practice schedules and a shorter transfer portal window, which could go into effect for the 2027 season if approved. The proposal would allow for 2 out-of-season practice sessions for a total of 21 practices, neither of which could extend 5 weeks. The committee's proposal would also reduce the transfer portal window from 15 days to 10 days, and the portal would open on the first business day following January 1st each year.
Yeah, pretty big change. I'm glad you brought this up, Walker. I mean, you've heard coaches talk about wanting to go to more of an NFL model and do the OTAs and things like that. And this, now, as I understand it, it's a proposal so far, but it doesn't seem like it's getting any pushback. This might be rubber stamped. for next season,
Yeah.
but you would basically have 21 spring practices that you could divide up into 2 different spurts. So you could do like 10 practices and then 11 practices. You like 10 in April, like we've been doing, then another 11 in June.
Yeah. It just can't be 5 consecutive weeks, is what they said.
Yeah, then there was a slight modification to the preseason practice. You would go from 27 days to 25, shrinking down the number of practices a little bit in there. And the other one was no waiver to play in week 0. So week 0 would basically go away, and it would just be week 1 a week before, so, which would give you 2 open dates.
I wonder what they'd call that.
Just week 1, I
Just
think.
become
I
week
think it
1?
would just be like, what is it? September 5th
Yeah.
today. This year is the first week, and week 0 is like August 28th or something. I think it would just be August 28th would be week 1.
I don't mind it. I mean, we've been asking for them to start the schedule earlier for a long time. Just turn week 0 into week 1, make it a full week, and let it go.
As a dumb guy, like week 0 has always been confusing. Just go ahead and get rid of it, man. Why do we have to bring 0 into this?
Kind of love weeks. I kind of
You like week 0?
I like the idea of a week 0 that like like football feels like it got here earlier than you're supposed to, but the games always suck on week 0.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
There are any good
Get better
week 0 games.
Get better games.
Okay, I feel you.
At number 3, the Charlotte Hornets are trading star point guard LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid in a series of draft picks. The Hornets fielded aggressive offers in recent days from multiple teams surrounding LaMelo, including the Timberwolves, the Toronto Raptors, and the Portland Trail Blazers, were all among teams going after the point guard.
Or Charlotte.
It's going to be some. I was going to say Minnesota. It's going to be. That's a lot of personality.
Charlotte's going to come out on the better end.
Yeah,
of that.
Is LaMelo? Does he take after his pops? Is a lot of ego there?
Well, I just think you got 2 alphas now at guard. I mean, you could argue that you're pairing the first and third picks.
Isn't LaMelo more of a pass first guy though?
No.
I don't think so.
I haven't watched him play enough, so I wouldn't know. Okay.
He can be a really elite shooter. He's a really good scorer, but he is, as like some people would call it, a good stats, bad team guy. He'll look really good on the stat sheet. He'll put up 20 and 10, but his teams won't win.
He's an awesome fantasy player.
Great fantasy player, not a player you want to build around in real life.
Not a winner. I think that I agree with Walker. I think Charlotte's going to be okay. I think they discovered what they got with Con Knipple, and Brandon Miller's a nice pro at this point.
I'm excited to see what they can do with Naz Reid
Oh,
going
Naz
and playing
Reid's
with
great.
Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
Brandon
Does
Miller
that
can
impact
switch out a little
Grant
more.
Williams?
It just kind of solidifies he's going to come off the bench.
Yeah.
Like Naz Reid plays that exact position
I'm
that
out.
Grant Williams plays. Is what it is. We need Grant to get back fully healthy. He's coming off an ACL tear. He played pretty good. A full year under his belt. Get back to being a good player. And at number 4, the United States wraps up their group stage later tonight in a packed day of World Cup action. Right now, or in just a few minutes, Curacao will play the Ivory Coast and Ecuador plays Germany, as both these matches are about to kick off at 4 o'clock. Later on, Japan plays Sweden, Tunisia plays the Netherlands, Paraguay plays Australia, and the United States of America plays Turkey at 10 p.m. on Fox.
So you're going Turkey A.
I just go with, however the broadcasters announce it is how I'll pronounce it. Yeah, be
I'm sticking with Turkey.
If that's what they want to be. That's what they want.
I want to go back even further and call them the Ottomans.
Just call them the Ottoman Empire.
The Ottoman Empire, yeah.
This is right about the time
Persians.
you would need Bear here to break down
the importance of Turkey historically as a conduit between Europe and Asia.
The lineage of the Ottomans and everything.
Alexander
else.
the Great.
Yeah.
The Crusades.
He talks about it with such confidence.
Every time. Sometimes
And yet knows so little.
Sometimes you even start to believe he knows.
Yeah. But usually if you start pulling a string or two, it's like Jenga. You just pull 1 or 2 little pieces out and the whole thing crumbles quickly. And then he gets angry. And then it gets good. Yeah.
That's when we start having fun.
That's when you get to the good stuff. All right. Thank you, Walker. That is the top 4 at 4, brought to you by ECR Total Landscapes. If you need to do any yard work this weekend, it's going to be hot out, man. It's going to be steamy. Temperatures getting up there, especially next week. We're up in the upper 90s, maybe hitting the triple digits next week. You don't want to be out there doing it. Let the pros at ECR handle it for you. First of all, they're going to do a better job than you can. Second of all, they're going to do all the things that you don't want to do, de-weeding the flower beds, the leaf blowing, the trimming, the mulching, all of it completely customizable to your property's specific needs. They handle it all. ECR Total Landscapes. Right now, new customers can get 10% off the first month of the monthly maintenance package when you sign up for the full calendar year. Consistent, reliable service at a price that makes it easy to get started. No sweat, no hassle, just a better looking lawn week after week. Call ECR Total Landscapes today. Mention promo code FANRUN to receive 10% off your first month. 865-384-2012 online at ECRTotalLandscapes.com. Got Greg Polinsky, Tennessee basketball assistant, coming up here in about 10 minutes, going to join the show. They had an open practice over at the arena earlier today, and pretty exciting stuff as we – I mean, there are many people out there. I don't know if there's many. There's a couple of people. There are people out there that are looking forward to basketball more than football.
That would be me. I'm one of them.
You're looking forward to basketball season more than – boy, you really are basketball.
Yeah. I mean, I look forward to football as well, but yeah, I mean
I think the basketball team is going to be better than the football team. Like,
yeah,
no doubt about it, but it's American tackle football, man. Come on.
What if we go get Mustafa Tiam from Michigan?
Is he good?
7'2".
All right.
Stud.
How does that impact? I mean, like, you know, I'm reading about Dwayne Brown, and you know, he was looking good today. And then, of course, you've got Miles Rubin.
Yeah,
it's not Reuben Miles, is it?
No, it's Miles Rubin.
I still say Miles Rubin sounds like he played, bass for Dizzy Gillespie or something back in the day. Great Chicago jazz man, but. You know, do you worry about upsetting the apple cart that you've spent a couple months put together? Or you go out there and get a dude if you have a chance to add a dude.
Yeah, I don't think it changes anything for Rubin, because I think Rubin might end up. He might not even be the starting 5. You know, for Brown, he would move back to the 4, which is where I think he really belongs. Although I do think he'll play some 5 this season. So no, I just think. I'm very excited about basketball. There's no doubt. And I'm excited about football. I'll get even more excited as we get closer to that once the games start playing. But
what do you think Jim Haslam thinks when he sees Rick Barnes' number pop up on his cell phone? It's like, oh, man, better open up that checkbook, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's.
How do you pitch that? Like, hey, man, I know you've already stroked a bunch of checks here. We've invested heavily, and I told you this team's good enough to go to the Final Four. But there's this guy.
I could picture him saying, I'm going to send you some video. I want you to watch this guy.
And go look at the film.
What if it's JP Estrella?
Well, then he won't be sending any video. Wouldn't need to.
Hey, you remember JP? We can get him back for $2 million.
JP would have to take a cut from whatever he got at Michigan. I've heard as high as $3 million from Michigan.
Man, hey, good for him.
I just don't see Rick won't do that. There's no way he would offer him $3 million. He didn't the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
my father-in-law and brother-in-law are in Kansas City. They're not going to the game today, but they're part of the Orange Army.
Oh, I've seen some
marching
of the
around.
That's insane, man. Totally insane. I love it though.
I wonder how many of those people are actually Dutch, like came over from Holland, or just expats.
Yeah,
here in the States, who like my father-in-law who made it up there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Looks like a fun time.
It looks amazing.
Who's your favorite fan base? Other fan base that's like come in for this? You got
it's the Scots.
The Scots.
It's the Scots. The Scots and the Dutch. Who else?
The Brits, English, they're pretty good.
I haven't seen much from the Brits. I've seen the videos. The Germans are pretty fun.
Germans are fun.
The German
They know. Hey man,
guy is really
Germans
fun.
know how to drink now.
What
What about
beer? I liked beer. Still like beer.
What about some of these fan bases for the more upstart clubs like Congo or Cape Verde? Or, I mean, they obviously don't have the strength in numbers like some of these other countries, but I just wonder how like
It's
passionate
cool, man.
those
When-
followings
yeah,
are.
you see their handful of fans in the stand. Like they've obviously got a lot of pride.
Yeah,
in their countries to be here, but they got to take this ass whooping.
Mm.
Did
Sorry.
you see the
Sorry.
the fan for the
sorry.
Democratic Republic of Congo?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Did we
early-
talk about
yeah.
it? Okay, the guy who just
I think we talked about it.
I don't
We
know
did.
if we did. We did? Okay. That guy is awesome. That's commitment.
Did you read up about like the history of who he is?
I know vaguely the history of it.
He's like a 1960s
Yeah.
Congolese revolutionary type figure. And they've got this fan who, in tribute to that guy, poses as the statue of him, like with his hand up for the entire game and doesn't move, like looks like a statue.
That's hard, man.
Well, I said that was hard, and then you made fun of me and said,
Well-
it's hard roofing in the summer. Did that whole thing made me
I
seem
did say that. I
soft.
forgot about that. Last night I was recording at the end of the NBA draft. They were clearly filling time, but Tennessee was the beneficiary of it because they were talking about Milwaukee and how they believe they're putting all their chips in on Braden Burries and Nate Ament. Not even so much the guys that are coming in from Miami. It's more about that's the foundation, those guys. It was great. It was really good analysis, and I was recording it, and it went for about 3 minutes, and I was thinking about what you were saying because I was holding my phone up on the TV watching. I was like, yeah, man, my arms are getting a little sore after about 2 minutes of this.
Not easy.
I told you.
It's not easy.
Won't make fun next time, will you?
Probably not.
Speaking of the World Cup, we've already got like 3 goals in 15 minutes since these games have kicked off.
Quick update here. We got to get to GP, Walker. Who we got?
Ecuador and Germany tied at 1-1
Really?
in 15 minutes.
About
Germany
that.
scored first and Ecuador answered.
Mess with Ecuador.
And the Ivory Coast is up on Curacao 1-0.
I knew that was coming. Not really.
Ivory Coast wears some cool orange unis too.
They got
Really
is it
good.
orange and green. It's really good uniforms.
Home country of my guy Didier Drogba.
Home country of current Manchester United player that I really like. Amad Diallo scored a goal.
You'll be glad to know Bear is still listening because.
Oh, I'm glad to know.
What'd he say?
Blank all three of you.
That's good. All right.
Yeah.
Stay with us. Greg Polinsky coming up here in just a few moments. Tennessee basketball coach. He was in New York City to see Nate Ament off to the NBA. He was also in Thompson Bowling earlier today for the open practice. We'll get his thoughts on former Vols and new Vols, both when we continue next right here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive. Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is Fan Run Radio.
It's official. It's summer. And how does East Tennessee do summer? With your Knoxville Smokies, of course. Only 5 homestands remaining. So if you haven't been to a game yet, what are you waiting for? Next week is a huge week with All You Can Eat Wednesday, Knox Vegas Thirsty Thursday, Friday fireworks, and then Saturday, we're celebrating our country's 250th birthday. America's favorite pastime and fireworks. Is there a better way to celebrate? And come meet Bluey on Sunday. Don't miss the fun. Get your tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
Is your yard starting to look more wild than welcoming? Yeah, don't let your landscape be that house on the block. At ECR Total Landscapes, we make sure your outdoor space is something you're proud of. From de-weeding flower beds to leaf blowing, trimming, mulching, and more, completely customizable to your property's specific needs. We'll handle it all. Why spend your weekends sweating it out in the yard when you can just sit back and enjoy it? That's the ECR difference. And right now, new customers can get 10% off your first month of our monthly maintenance package when you sign up for a full calendar year. That's right. Consistent, reliable service at a price that makes it easy to get started. No sweat, no hassle, just a better looking lawn week after week. Call ECR Total Landscapes today and mention promo code FANRUN to save 10% on your first month. Call 865-384-2012 or visit us online at ecrtotalandscapes.com.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Citizens National Bank.
Life is more fun with a Good Life account, offering extra benefits, including bank travel. Experience the trip of a lifetime to Ireland. Explore rolling green hills, historic castles, and charming villages across the Emerald Isle. Get in on the fun. Call 865-429-7935 today.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
Hear that?
Side Bob Baskerville. Walker through the glass, making it happen for us this afternoon. And pleased to be joined by a special guest. He is Greg Polinsky, assistant coach at the University of Tennessee basketball program. GP, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon, guys. Been a while.
Been a while. Yes. Long time no talk. Hope you're well. A lot has changed since we last spoke. You got a brand new roster. You got a bunch of guys you just sent off to the NBA as well. And we saw the pictures of you guys in the jet flying up to New York City. How was that at the NBA draft, seeing Nate Ament and then, of course, Jacoby and Felix off to the NBA?
Yeah, I think, starting with how you mentioned it, the first trip to see Nate. Nate was incredibly gracious. He individually texted everybody and, tell them how much you appreciated them and would they, come to the draft, and more for us than for him. That's Nate. He's just a class act. Mm. And it was really nice, I know Coach really enjoyed it. Had an opportunity to visit with Nate and his family before the draft, and then we met him at the hotel. Spent some time with him in the lobby, and just great to see him. And same old Nate, just great humility, poised, excited. Just I think very grateful to be in this position, and I think obviously I have really strong feelings about the University of Tennessee and how to help them.
Coach, it's good talking to you again. Appreciate you spending a little time with us. All I could think about, and this goes back to when you and I have talked for the past couple of years. You talked about last year, Jemai Mashak, and this was before the NBA draft, and you were like, I'm telling you, this guy has got the makeup of what it can take to make it into the NBA. Jemai makes it as a second-round pick. This past season, when you're talking with Russell and I, we talked about Felix Okpara, and you said the same thing. And all I could think about when I've seen Felix kind of ascend in draft projections, et cetera, before last night, was the NBA Finals and some of the plays that were made by guys like Mitchell Robinson with the Knicks. And in the Western Conference Finals, arguably in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, one of the biggest plays in that game was made by Luke Cornett. And those are guys that I feel like kind of fit the bill in some form or fashion to what Felix could be, which is a meaningful NBA player. I guess I'm giving you your flowers because of your background and stuff. You knew it. You saw this coming. So it probably doesn't surprise you, but I mean, I really, really feel good about the prospects for all these guys, but certainly for Felix Okpara.
Yeah, well, he's a guy that came a long way, had to adjust to a different coaching style and a different style of play. I've always found some guys that were affected in the NBA talking about his block shot rate had gone down. Well, I mean, did you look at how we played him? The guy was an incredible ball defender, and we could switch him and play him out on the floor. And so what's the value to that? How many ball screens there? 75, 80. So, but there's another group that understood it and talked about it. He made very impactful blocks. I mean, I think Fee was really smart with what he did and how he did it for the most part. Got to be a great defender, Bob. I mean, of course, my background, I mean, if I asked you questions about being in Sport Talk Radio and having an audience, and having you project things out, you could probably, read the tea leaves to me because you've had the lived experience, and I'm fortunate to have had that. And it doesn't mean, every year in the draft, the thing that's so crazy, Bob, and talking about Fee and Jacoby, and they could have gone in the 30s, they could have gone in the 40s. You see all these trades that happen, and when a team that really likes a player trades out of it to somebody else that maybe doesn't need that kind of guy or doesn't value that play, there's so many variables that fans and that, I understand only because I sat in those rooms. If not, like when I watch other drafts, I don't know what I'm watching. I'm excited about, this guy's got to go in the first 3 rounds. No, he doesn't. Because you don't know the variables that take place and how teams are strategizing in those rooms. And they're willing to get off certain picks, and those are the teams that really like the guy. So I'm really happy to get back to it. I circled around, but I believe in Felix. I know Coach does. I know all our coaching staff does. And I think Fee's going to go in there and give his best effort. And hopefully, and the other thing is there's got to be opportunity. You got to find a role. I always say it. It's like walking into Baskin-Robbins if our readers, our listeners, not readers, and they go in there and everybody likes a different flavor. You just hope that coach and that coaching staff will like what Felix brings to the table. Same for Jacoby, same for Nate.
Talking with Greg Polinsky, Tennessee assistant basketball coach here this afternoon on the program. All right, Coach, let's talk about your new team out here. And I say new team, it's a new team. You've got 2 or 3 guys left over from last season. And let's just talk about a couple of these guys. Juke Harris, we start with him coming over from Wake Forest, highly touted guy. And I was talking with William Pattison across the hall here from us, who was at your practice this morning. He said, well, like this guy, he's going to fit in nicely. He is a scorer, long, bouncy, just a terrific athlete. What has he shown you guys his first couple of months on campus?
Well, one, he loves the game. Juke is a good student of the game. He played for a really good coach in Steve Forbes, who I've known forever, and Coach has. He was a junior college coach and just did nothing but win everywhere he's been. And, so I think he's been mentored really well and coached. Obviously, again, we do it different. So he's learning and adjusting to style of play and coaching style. And we're playing a little bit differently right now than we have in the past because we have very versatile big wings and guards that we're not so dependent upon a Jacoby Gillespie or a Nate Ament or Dalton Connect or Chaz Lanier, or Zakai Ziegler being so dominant with the basketball, or Jacoby. You know, we're deeper. I'm not saying we're more talented. Those kids are incredibly talented, each and every one I named. But I think we're deeper as a group. So I think coaches toying with, doing this group, and that's been one of the great things. Coach doesn't get enough credit for being flexible within his own system. And I think that's what he's toying with now. So Juke is certainly a guy that we are excited to have, and is going to fit in well. But I think the thing that we're going to do and we have to do, and I think we have a team that will be mature enough to do this, we have 7 players that were the leading scorers on their last teams. So giving of yourself, being selfless, making your teammate better. I know when I was scouting, I really didn't care about points per game. The NBA really doesn't care about that. They're looking for how you arrive into those points or what you do to make the right play. And that's what we're trying to impress upon these guys. We don't want them passing up any shots. We want the first good shot we see because we have a bunch of guys that can knock it down. But at the same time, this will be a new role for everybody mentally, that they've been their go-to guys on every single team, and now they have other go-to guys with them. So it's going to be fun to see how all this comes together.
Since we last spoke, there's a lot that's transpired, obviously. I mean, back then we really couldn't have much conversation about some of the guys who were maybe considering coming to Tennessee and are now part of the team. And I've had the chance to talk with a couple of these guys on a podcast that I do for Rocky Top Insider. And I'll identify Terrence Hill and Tyler Lundblade, who both spent time with us. And they were, I'm so impressed with both of them. And I know from all indicators like today's practice, it sounds like Terrence was, obviously a factor, a really positive one. And I know Tyler had to sit out the scrimmage part of it. But these guys, this goes back to what we talked to you about, Coach, during the season, was kind of like, as you move forward, how do you find somebody that's going to help set that tone, that culture from a leadership standpoint, all those things. And I could feel it when I talked to both of those guys. They were like, those guys are leaders, man. They want, Terrence was make no mistake about it. He was kind of picturing himself as point guard one. Lundblade just so prepared and smart. I mean, talk a little bit about those guys, because we obviously know they're players, but they're also, I think, going to be really, really important to this team from a leadership perspective, from my point of view.
Yeah, as you guys know, and we're far from perfect. We're going to have our blips, but we really work hard, our staff, everybody, to what you're talking about, Bob, to have high character guys off the court and high character basketball guys. And there is a difference. We've talked about that before. I think you mentioned 2 guys that have it both. And I think our team, to a man, we feel like that. Maybe somebody will, step off the side of the sidewalk, and we'll have to pull them back in because we have 4 freshmen as well. But those guys are mature. They've been through it, particularly Tyler. He's an older guy, very, very, very smart, very high IQ, very professional in how he deals with things. He literally reminds me of an NBA player in terms of his preparation, his workouts, his thought process, his confidence. It's really fun to watch him with the guys. Terrence is younger, but he's an old soul. You could tell when I first started talking with him, he just sounded different. Very calm, very even-keeled. You didn't need to hype him up. You just needed to talk to him rationally, be genuine with him. We are with all the guys. We tell them how hard it's going to be, how coach is going to get you better. We got, the proof is in the pudding, as it happened again this year. Not that these players didn't work hard because they deserve the credit, but they allowed themselves to be coached. And I think that's the same thing you're going to get with Terrence, Tyler, and if not everybody, but the larger this team.
Coach, listening to you talk about, the need for guys to understand that they're not the only go-to guy on the player, on the team. anymore. The need to maybe, as you put it, pull a guy back in if he steps off the sidewalk. This is something Bob and I talked a lot about as we were covering you guys assembling this roster. Is the challenge of maintaining the vaunted Rick Barnes Tennessee basketball culture when you're basically flipping almost the entire roster, right? Is that something that you guys discussed internally as you were going through that process? And is that something that you guys just knew, hey, this is something that we're going to have to address as we go along?
Well, both. So it's a non-negotiable for Coach. And we've been proud of our group. It's not to say, again, that we can't have a blip on the radar. They're kids still, right? They don't always exercise the best judgment. And I can say even as an adult at my age, sometimes I try to do a little bit better each day. But I think for the large part, that's very important to us, very, very important. I said this before, we'll give up a little talent for high character because character is going to win you a lot of games. If you combine that with talent, IQ, and guys that love the game and that care about each other, it generally turns into, as we're putting the puzzle together, the pieces pretty well go together. And I think that's what we've done. I feel good about this group now. To think that we're not going to hit some bumps in the road is naive. I think that's going to be a lot of teams because you have so many new guys and they got to assume new roles. And sometimes, when a player is used to doing one thing and he's got to take a couple steps back and he's not playing as well, then he starts questioning, hey, maybe why did I do this? Is this the best place for me? And what you tell them is be patient with yourself, trust yourself in this process because we've seen it work for a long time. And if you just stay the course, it's going to work out. And again, when you have high character guys, which we do, I think you see it happen. And, we've been fortunate enough since I've been here, going on now year 6, to show up to practice. We went at 7 a.m. this morning, and, man, guys are ready to go. And it was a lot of fun. And had a really good one, as you guys mentioned, but, it was our last practice before the break.
Let's talk about one of the guys who is stuck around and, you almost forget about him during the off season, but Dwayne Brown, read some notes. Sounds like Coach, you guys are very, very happy with his progression, but talk a little about Dwayne Brown, because again, I'm super excited to see what season 2 with him looks like. There's so much upside to Dwayne, I think.
There is. I think there's a couple things. Coach just mentioned this. Dwayne came from a really unique high school program that, sometimes the Southeast gets maligned because it's so football heavy, right? And particularly in Alabama, and Hoover High School's coaches, the two guys there, man, Scott Ware, Keon Williams is now head coach in another high school, and their other coaches. They started at 5 a.m. with individuals and practice at 6 a.m. And if you've ever been to a practice there's no nonsense. They won 3 straight state titles for a reason. I mean, you could say there's talent. The talent just doesn't get it done. Really well coached. So what I'm saying is we can take some credit for Dwayne, but Dwayne came in here really well prepared, really an understanding of how to play the game, particularly offensively. Defensively, we know it's going to be a whole another level or two. We've always had their support there, as we do most of our high school coaches, think great. But Dwayne processes information incredibly quick. I remember as a player, I couldn't do it nearly as quick as Dwayne. I'm not so sure even last year he wasn't our quickest processor, being told what to do, shown on a board, and executing it almost to a T. I think when you have that kind of intellect, that comes from good coaching, that comes from good genetics, and a mom that raised him right to listen and pay attention. If you're around Dwayne, he doesn't talk a lot, but he listens a lot. And so he takes that to the court. And I think right now what you're seeing is, and I thought this is really great. We talked before the year, and same thing with Troy Henderson, who's out, still with his shoulder, getting back into shape. We expect him back. And those two guys, along with, Campbell, Duncan, and Gavin, Paul, are two walk-ons. They've been awesome with the guys. They've really called them out, along with some of the guys you mentioned. But Dwayne has been I told him, you're going to have to be uncomfortable this year because I know it's not your way to lead verbally, but he has done an incredible job. And I give a lot of credit to Felix Akpara for that with Dwayne because, I was on the baseline a lot because we all have roles and one of mine was rebounding. And so I'm there. Felix was great with Dwayne. What do I do? Hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. When this happens, you've got to get here. You have to have a sense of – so the players coaching players is the greatest thing that's ever happened that I've witnessed, whether it was Santiago Vescovi, Jemai Meshack, Zakai. I could go on and on. But you guys have been around it to know the strong leaders. When your team players take ownership, and Dwayne's quiet still, but he doesn't yell. But he, like Shaq was loud. Santi could be loud. I love this. Santi could be irritated, loud. Like he didn't really care how you felt. Kind of like the NBA. He just wanted it done right. He wanted to win. Dwayne is more even keeled, like his personality, but he has been an incredible voice for this group. I think it'll continue because that's who Dwayne is. And I think between Chad Newman, our trainer, and Eric, they've done a great job. His mobility, it may not mean much, but he is moving better, jumping higher. Don't get me wrong, it's not Felix power up on the rim, but Dwayne's ability to move our perimeter guys, catch that ball in the short roll and make plays. I mean, he's just been really impressive. And you guys know this just in a very steady way. But there's definitely been a jump.
Talking with Greg Politsky, Coach. I know you got to run. We could ask you about literally every single player on the roster, but one guy I did want to hear you talk about is the transfer from Notre Dame, Jalen Harrelson. Sounds like a Swiss Army knife of a player. Really excited to see him on the floor. What have you seen out of him early?
Yeah, you got him. Jalen doesn't even know how good he could be. I mean, he's a McDonald's All-American. I had a good friend that was with, USA Basketball. He was on really successful gold medal teams at USA Basketball. He's played on a high level for a long time. Incredible personality. Coach says reminds him a little bit of, Josiah in terms of how sharp, just got that outgoing personality, very bright, incredible mom and dad. Notre Dame, obviously really good school academically. He's just a bright kid. But basketball-wise, if you can imagine the flexibility and versatility, and, I thought about this during the recruitment of him, and we were all involved with him. So this isn't the Greg Polinsky hour by any means. It was our staff. And Steve McLean did a great job, and Coach knew his agent real well. And so the team effort, but me watching Jalen, and then the GM at Notre Dame is a good friend of mine. We worked together with the Pistons. And he said, you're just getting an incredible guy with a great work ethic, great personality. He said, look, like a lot of kids, they have something they got to work on. With Jalen, it's a shooting, and he's come in and done that. It's not where he wants it to be or where we want it to be consistently. But, guys, when I tell you, he could play anywhere. We've used him as much as a small ball four as we have at the point guard.
Love it.
That is a rarity. So, like I was joking, thinking about today, we might take someone out of the game. Let's just say it's Juke, Tyler, Dede, or Terrence, and say, hey, Juke, you're just going to go now, Jalen, you're going to go from playing the small ball four, you're now the point guard.
Yeah.
Who else can do that? Like, his versatility is exceptional. He's getting used to his reads, and speed with which he needs to play with. But, man, you're going to see a 6'7" guy with long arms, weighs 220 pounds, really quick with the ball. And now we're pushing him to be he should be our defender. He should be a guy, and you're seeing it in practice with deflections. He could be an elite defender. He's just got to put himself in that frame of mind. But you guys hit him on the head. He is a unicorn, man. He's special.
Last question for me, Coach. Saw earlier today, Coach Barnes made a mention that there's one roster position available. And I'm not asking about play. He was saying, if there's somebody available we like, we might go get them. That's great. I'm not going to ask who we think that is. More so, I'm curious, just given what we're talking about, you've got a roster with a bunch of new players. You've got a loaded roster. I'd say that's going to have to be a pretty special fit at this point. Am I right saying that, just from the standpoint, again, of just culture, right? Making this all work together.
Yeah, and I think the word fit, I don't think right now you're going to go find the kind of guys we just talked about, their level of talent. But if we could find the fit, Bob, and again, that's the best way to put it, a guy that can maybe give us a little more physicality on the front line, Miles and Christian, two big guys. They're thin. They play hard, fast twitch guys. Braden Lou, pretty good body, really good athlete. Going to be a really good defender for us out on the perimeter as well as I think on the interior. If we could find that, maybe a little more physicality to help these other guys out a bit, I think we do it. And if we can't, then we feel pretty good about where we are. But if we can make this team better, we owe it to each and every player and every Tennessee fan, and to an athletic department that supported us amazingly to find that guy.
I'm excited. Can we tip it off tomorrow, Coach? Can we get this thing going? I'm ready.
Well, we're pretty excited about it too, guys. And, we're going to hopefully we're working hard to get some exhibition games that we think our fans will enjoy at home so they can get a, good look at the team. Everybody knows we're going to Duke to play there October 20th, which should give us a really good look. I think they have an incredibly low roster, but we enjoy those things, and just excited, guys. And I appreciate the opportunity to share this with everybody.
All right, so 4 months until Duke. Can you find a spot for me and Bob and Cameron? That's on the bucket list, Coach. I'd love to go to that.
Yeah.
Come on, boys. We'd love to have you. I've been there. You guys can have my seat.
There you go.
Yeah. That's a good seat.
Yeah. I'll watch it. I can watch it. I've been there a number of times. Yeah, it's good.
Coach,
and it's a great place.
Yeah, man, we're looking forward to it. Appreciate the time. We'll do it again soon.
Appreciate you guys. Good to hear your voices.
Thank you, Greg. See you, Coach.
Greg Polinsky, one more time on the program. And so that's why you're more excited for basketball than football.
There you go. How could you not be?
I mean, again, we didn't even get into some of we barely talked about Lundblade. Didn't talk about Day really at all.
Didn't talk about any of the freshmen.
Yeah. So, I mean, the team is absolutely loaded, and maybe a little hint there to kind of back up what we were talking about. Like, if they add another dude, it's probably going to be a frontline player. Hearing him talk about Felix teaching Dwayne Brown on the baseline and rebounding and everything, like it's pretty cool how accessible he is. And we will talk to him every week during the season. Greg Polinsky, a wealth of basketball knowledge. We're appreciative of him sharing with us here this afternoon on the show. Got to take a quick timeout. Back to wrap up hour number 2 of the show right after this. Stay with us. It's Fan Run Radio.
The Drive. Miss any of your favorite Fan Run show? Listen to the podcast on our free Fan Run Radio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard, the barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134 for directions and to look at the rest of the menu. Visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Your smile says it all, so make sure it's saying the right thing. At Knoxville Smiles, we believe healthy teeth mean happy lives. Invisalign is a clear aligner orthodontic treatment that gradually straightens teeth without the use of traditional metal braces. And now, at Knoxville Smiles, we're offering Invisalign special pricing for new patients. Call for details at 865-539-1776 or just visit us at knoxvillesmiles.com. Don't wait another day to love your smile. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com. Vols.
Couple things jumped out to me, Bob. He said that, hey, we're playing differently this year, already because of just the sheer number of scorers that they have. And one of the challenges they have, and it was pretty clear if you listen to between the lines to him, is like, we got a bunch of dudes who are used to shoot.
Yeah.
and we've had, I think it's probably Terrence Hill in there, probably Juke. And others that are used to just being shot machines. And it's like, hey, man, like, first of all, this is the way we play here. We don't just run down and jack up the first open look we got. We're going to work it around a little bit, and it might not be you getting the shot. And I think that the players, based off what we've heard, are probably comfortable with that, but it's still probably an adjustment.
Yeah.
You're not going to be getting 20 shots a game anymore.
No, exactly. And as he said, these are all guys that they're used to being the guy. And look, we saw where it can work. We saw it with Michigan. We saw it firsthand when they laid us out on their way to the national title. They had a lot of guys who were, primary players at their previous schools. And I'm of the mind that they, if you have winning DNA, I'm gonna trust Barnes and those guys to kind of coach it the right way. One thing we didn't even get to talk about, I've seen it in the notes and I've heard it firsthand from Shumpert and William Pattison. These guys were all at that media availability this morning. Tyler Lundblade, who couldn't scrimmage but was over on the side shooting.
Yeah.
Did not miss a shot hardly at all. Just the guy is absolutely stone cold. He's a killer, man. I'm telling you. And
I'm trying to pace myself, Bob. I don't want to hurt.
Yeah, I know.
But it's hard not to just go all in.
Yeah,
on this group.
Yeah,
and I do wonder, girth, frontline strength.
Yeah, he foreshadowed a little of that, didn't he? I just think it's going to be hard though to imagine going and spending $2 to $3 million on somebody. I could be wrong. I mean, conversely said.
Tell me, who's this guy you're talking about at Michigan?
Oh, Mustafa Tiam. I know Walker knows about him. He's a transfer from Cincinnati, 7'2", big boy. I mean, not just tall, but big.
7'2", 250 pounds, Senegalese.
Yeah.
He can block some shots.
Yes. I would want him over JP Estrella. I think there's a lot of fans that feel that way too.
Freshman year averaged 10 and 6.4 with 2.6 blocks per game at UCF. Last year transferred to Cincinnati, earned all Big 12 honorable mention, posted career best stats, including a 28-point game and an upset victory over Kansas, averaged 12.8 points, 7.1 rebounds. Sign me up.
Yeah, I mean,
let's go steal him. Let's raid Michigan's roster.
Because when we talk about JP, I mean, it's familiarity, and I get it. JP's an offensive-oriented kid, man, and I don't think we need that. I think we need we need toughness underneath and rim protection, all those things.
Well, I always go back to the Aaron Torres theory of you have to be able to win different games in different types of ways. And like if there was Achilles heel, weak link, whatever you want to call it, it's just like, what if we run into an Edey, the guy from Kansas last year, that 6'10", 250 pound beast,
right?
Do we have a guy that can deal with that?
No, and I mean that was such a difference maker for Michigan last season, right? Ade Mara was just. We couldn't remember the first play. Nate was matched up against Ade Mara.
I tried to forget.
He just stepped and dunked on him like contested. I mean,
wasn't he like 7'4"?
7'3", I think. So
find one of them.
Yes.
All right. Quick timeout. Hour number 3 coming up. The top 5 at 5 with Walker Smith. We'll get you caught up on what's going on. Big Sports Day. Stay with us. More Fan Run Radio coming up.
The Drive. Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day, right here on the flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Are you thinking of buying a home but don't know where to start? Well, call VFL Josh Travis, your local mortgage expert with Foundation Mortgage, based right here in Knoxville. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, he'll keep the process simple every step of the way. To get started, visit mortgagebrokerjosh.com or call 423-312-9777 today. Foundation Mortgage Company, LLC is an equal opportunity housing company. NMLS number 1387311.
Is your smile ready for the spotlight? Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco, and at Knoxville Smiles, we make every visit a reason to smile. From routine cleanings to dazzling cosmetic treatments, our experienced team uses the latest technology to keep your teeth healthy and your smile bright. With a warm, welcoming atmosphere and personalized care, we're here to make sure you leave feeling your best. Don't wait. Your perfect smile is just a call away. Book your appointment today at 865-539-1776 or online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Are you ready for the start of a new season? Maybe looking for your team to go on a tournament run? Get game day ready with Crumble. Head on over to your nearest location and pick up 12 pre-selected cookies plus exclusive toppers. When you're looking for dessert options, there's no question about who you should call on. Our listeners already know. Last year, the Dubai chocolate was a home run, along with the brownie batter. Oreo crumb was another crowd favorite. What new flavor will set the standard this season? If you're in the Knoxville area, there are 3 locations ready to serve you: Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive, and Maryville. Download the Crumble app to build your best lineup and vote on the best combos. You can even put your bid in to request a new flavor. Order in the app and slide on over to your nearest location. Tell them Fan Run sent you, and as always, it's for the fans, by the fans. Don't miss the cookies.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
It's time for the Drive's Top 5 at 5.
Quitting time on your Thursday. 5 o'clock here on Fan Run Radio. I'm Russell Smith. Thanks for tuning in to The Drive. We begin our third and final hour, as always, with a quick look around your world of sports. It's the Top 5 at 5, presented today by Knoxville Smiles. Walker, what you got?
Thank you, Russ. At number 1, 2 more Vols got picked in the NBA draft last night, with Jacoby Gillespie going 42nd to the Spurs and Felix Okpara going 46th to the Magic. This marks the second time in the Coach Rick Barnes era where he had a trio of players selected in the NBA draft, and the fourth time ever that 3 Vols have been picked in the draft in the same year.
So Jacoby to the Spurs. Where did Felix end up?
Orlando Magic.
Well, they drafted him, and then they traded that pick to he's going to Washington.
Oh, he's alongside AJ.
Yeah, he's going to be a Wizard.
I mean, those are both pretty morbid franchises, aren't they?
Well, the Magic.
No, Magic's pretty good.
The Magic have been pretty good the last couple of years since they drafted Paolo. Banchero, remember him at Duke? He was really good.
Guy almost came here. I think we finished up second to Duke.
He's really good for them. They've made the playoffs. And the Wizards, they're trying to build something. You get AJ DeBanza, Felix Okpara maybe makes that roster. We'll see. They have a lot of big men.
They re-signed Trae Young.
Yeah, now immediately the worst contract in the sport, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
He's a good player. Maybe.
Yeah. Now, they said last night 24 of the 30 picks in the second round involved trades. It was wild.
I had it turned on just for a minute, and they were talking about the conversation. Same conversation we had with Kevin Sweeney earlier this week about the whole guys who basically don't want to be drafted, because they want to bet on themselves and sign wherever they want to go, try and get a guaranteed deal versus being, sold on signing a two-way deal, but they get drafted.
Yeah.
That's a strange dynamic
it is.
At play in that thing.
Well, there was one of the guys who thought he was, he entered the draft, turned down a bunch of money at North Carolina to stay because he thought he was a first-round pick, was Henry Vassar, their big guy. He ended up going like 2 or 3 picks from the end of the draft, but they're saying that some of it was like what you said. His agent had already talked to some other teams saying, don't take him because we've got a team that likes him. They've worked out a two-way deal. May not ever be a two-way deal,
man.
But
draft politics.
Similar to baseball, is what it's like. It feels like going in, you have to negotiate your contract. Maybe you don't really want to do that, and guys get that figured out.
That's just kind of like the football thing better, man. Just take who you want.
Yeah, not really a whole lot of wiggle room with who you get, with where you don't go.
It's just hard to project these
true.
things.
That's true. At number 2, Detroit Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold was arrested in Florida and faces 4 charges of kidnapping and 4 charges of armed robbery over an incident in which he previously denied all involvement. The kidnapping charges alone carry a maximum penalty of life in prison. Authorities claim Arnold and others believed a group of 3 men had stolen items from their Airbnb and reported the property stolen and for about $250,000 worth of property. Members of Arnold's group are alleged to have ambushed the team that stole them, also the victims, in the apartment and spent the better part of an hour beating and interrogating them at gunpoint. The prosecution wants Terrion Arnold held in jail until the trial.
I had to read again, I did a double take when I saw this story, and they were saying life in prison.
Could be.
You kidnapped somebody. You're directed to kidnap. Dude, you play cornerback for the Lions. Why are you out there mobbing?
Yeah.
Like you're Tony Soprano or something. Guy's made $9.5 million already in career earnings and is probably getting set to go away. Just threw it all away because, some sort of property dispute?
I think the guys stole from him.
Yeah.
Straight up took $250,000 of stuff out of his Airbnb.
So, okay, get a lawyer, sue.
Yeah, sent people to go beat him up. Basically,
dumbass.
God, unbelievable. I think we've seen it all. These guys keep finding ways to mess it up. At number 3, Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas has received a flagrant 2 penalty and a 1-game suspension for, quote, recklessly making contact with her fist to the throat area.
Or what we old-timers refer to as a throat punch.
Throat punch. Of Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. After Clark drove the lane in Wednesday's matchup, she tumbled onto her side, and while she was trying to recover, Thomas appeared to thrust her fist into Clark's neck. She then got up and stepped over Clark, and no foul was called on the play in the moment.
She also kind of kneed her in the lady bits, didn't she?
She did. This
was vicious.
And it's amazing that it happened because we talked about this earlier in the week. These 2 teams played each other at the beginning of the week, and there were almost fights. I mean, it was very physical, very contentious. So you would figure the refs would be very attentive to calling stuff last night, and they didn't. It has got...
Were you watching this, Bob?
A fair amount. I was watching back and forth because I was watching the draft, too.
When I saw the picture, there's a still frame of her just getting throat punched. I thought it was AI. I was like, there's no way that happened. That, to quote Billy Madison, that's assault, brother.
Well, and Alyssa Thomas is a fantastic player, but she is a scary proposition out there, man. She could beat up most dudes, in my opinion. So she's rough. And
why don't they here? So the other big story, the WNBA, they've got this poster out for the first 30 years or whatever of the league, and she's not on it. Caitlin Clark's not on it.
Neither is Diana Taurasi.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's a poster, whatever. But it does go along with this narrative that they've got the golden goose.
Yep.
This league has been famously unprofitable for years. It's been, something that's been propped up by the NBA, basically to give women something to do.
Players underpaid. I mean, a lot because of that, because they weren't making money. That's changing now.
You're not underpaid if your business isn't making anything. It's so now they've got this play, and they're selling out the arenas, and they're moving her games to bigger arenas so they can sell more tickets. And you think there would be a little gratitude, from the league and the other players for the increased earning potential that she has brought. And no, instead, they're trying to drive her from the league. They're trying to hurt her.
No, I think they've seen all, because Caitlin makes so much money outside of the W. I mean, all the endorsement work she does with Gatorade. She's got her own Nike shoe, State Farm. I mean, she is a brand, and I think they resent her for that. And there might be other underlying factors I'm not going to speak to, but it's all wrong-headed, man. It is absolutely stupid, like you were saying, Russ. They've got a chance to actually get over it and get people paid better and make revenue for the league, etc. But instead, they seem to focus on this crap. It's bad. It's bad.
Not very good.
And that's the most WNBA talk we have ever had in 15 years of this radio program.
Well,
it's a record.
Get a throat punch going, and we'll talk.
Well,
Bear probably thought it was clean.
That's a way to break through, man.
I bet Bear probably thought Caitlin Clark did something wrong there. Shouldn't have been on the ground. Shouldn't have been there.
See, Bear would.
That's just nice 80s NBA basketball right there, brother.
Bear
no foul.
Bear would have
get
said,
back on defense back in the 70s.
Well, if maybe Caitlin should just turn around and bite her. That'll get her attention.
She should get up and throw a punch, man. You get throw punched. Did she come out of the game for that? I mean, that was
no, there was no call.
There was no call, and then there was another call that didn't happen where there's the standing rule where you take a jump shot, and if the defender comes in and doesn't allow you space to come down, that's a flagrant foul, and that happened too, and that allegedly hurt Caitlin's back.
It's a very dangerous play.
Yeah, and they didn't call a foul there either, and so Stephanie White, the coach of the Fever, took her out of the game because she's like, I got a whole season to play here, man. If this is how it's going to be, I can't get her hurt.
Wow.
So
yeah, you have it.
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad. At number 4, as part of the next collective bargaining agreement with the players, the Major League Baseball wants a maximum contract of 5 years for free agents who are switching teams, while organizations will have the ability to keep their own players for up to 6 years, calling it a cornerstone player provision. The league also proposed eliminating deferred contracts as well as the qualifying offer, though didn't ask for any changes to the arbitration system. The MLB Players Association put out a statement shortly after saying they did not agree with the proposal.
Are there contract term limits in place right now in MLB?
That's a good question.
You see 10-year deals.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot.
Juan Soto just signed like a 12, 13-year deal.
Really?
Like that's the thing with baseball is there is no ceiling to this stuff. It's just like however many years.
You just need a salary cap, man. Like a salary cap would get rid of all of that, right? You wouldn't worry about that. Like you don't worry about how long NFL or an NBA contract is because it's got to fit under a cap. And we get and talk about all these little details here and there and different proposals, but that's the crux of the issue is, are they going to be able to get a cap or not? And the owners obviously have wanted it for a long time. And I think the fans want it.
I think the fans would rather there be, I think if the fans had a choice, I'd rather there be a floor, not a ceiling. Like make these
Think so?
At least that's my opinion. I'd rather.
I think there should be both. I mean, I think that's a good compromise. If you have to get the cap in, you have a floor. And like, if I'm a fan of the Rays or the A's or one of these small market teams that doesn't spend money, the Pirates, it's like, yeah, require these teams to spend money. They've got it. They can find an extra $10, $20 million in annual salary. You're on a Major League Baseball team, man. None of these guys are in the poorhouse.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good point. It's just, I don't think the players are, I don't know what ship that.
Who's going to blink?
I don't know what the MLB can give and compromise with having the players see a salary cap. Because there's just so much that goes into that and so much money that's lost to the players. If you put a cap on that, it's just a lot of stuff for people wearing suits that I couldn't understand. And at number 5, 2 people are facing charges after detectives say they found a bag labeled, quote, definitely not a bag full of drugs that contains suspected narcotics.
Did Bear leave this behind or something?
The Laurel County Sheriff's Office said a detective found a suspicious vehicle parked in an employee area of business. When the detective spoke with the man and woman inside the car, they noticed a plastic bag that potentially contained narcotics. He then found a second bag labeled definitely not a bag full of drugs inside the vehicle. He said there were more suspected narcotics inside that bag as well.
I was banging 7-gram rocks.
Wow.
So inconspicuous.
Poor Bear, man. I mean, he has taken more heat today than he ever has when he's here. Don't accuse us of not being consistent here on the drive. Whether you're here or not, you're going to get your slings and arrows.
This is because we love Bear, right?
Absolutely. It all comes from a place of love. So, yeah, it's some, I'm no criminal genius, no criminal mastermind over here, but just call me crazy, Bob. Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm transporting a large load of criminal street drugs in my car,
contraband.
Yeah, I'm not going to include the word drugs, even facetiously, on the bags or cases or containers that they're being transported in.
No, that's right.
I guess this guy just figured, like, look, if it gets to the point where they find this bag, I'm done anyway, so might as well have some fun with it.
I mean, it clearly said there weren't drugs in the bag. I don't know how they could have thought there were drugs in the bag.
That's a good point. Maybe that was an earnest attempt to...
So he was trying to help him out. There weren't supposed to be drugs in that bag. It clearly says on
Barney
the bag
Fife
there
picks
aren't,
up the,
there aren't drugs in
might
there.
as well not look in here. All right. Thank you, Walker. That is the Top 5 at 5, brought to you by Knoxville Smiles. It's where I go to the dentist. And, of course, they are open late tonight till 7 p.m. They do it every Tuesday and Thursday to make it easier for you to get to the dentist. Go check them out online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Bear in there yesterday. It's gotten a lot of reviews out there on the YouTube chat. A lot of people speculating about Bear's oral and dental health. 865-539-1776. The phone number. Tell them Fan Run sent you. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles. See if we can nail the dismount for you here in hour number 3 of the drive. We do have our buddy Lucas Widespread Panzika coming up here in just a few minutes. Of course, the U.S. men's national team, its third and final group play game. World Cup flying by, man. Already the third game against Turkey tonight, 10 p.m. local time start. And Walker, we going to do a little chat afterwards? You up late tonight with me?
I'll probably be up for it.
Well, that was probably. That was not a...
Bob,
I might need you to fill in for Walker on the X Spaces national team chat tonight.
I think I have a meeting.
At midnight, you've got a meeting? I mean, Bear thinks that's a lame excuse. Come on now, man. I like how little effort you put into that.
I got a meeting at that time.
Yeah, a meeting with your pillow.
I'm actually busy that day.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy.
Can we circle back on that
the
one,
guy
please?
from Office Space, Gary Cole's character. Right. Yeah.
Pulling a Lumberg. All right. Tennessee baseball, 2 Ross bombs today. We are waiting. The commitment has not revealed himself yet, but we feel pretty comfortable in saying that shortstop Chris Ramirez out of UC Baptist is going to be joining the Vols. He's the number 1 rated shortstop in the baseball transfer portal. Who is the other one? Well, stay tuned and find out. We were hoping to get some news here before the end of the show. Still might happen. So Josh Elander with a big bounce back. You know, we came on the beginning of the week, Bob. A lot of people wondering, is it time to panic yet? Like, where are the guys? Thought we were going to have some more players. Been a good week for Tennessee on the baseball front. 2 potential starting pitchers and now a big-time piece of the puzzle in the middle infield and a big-time bat to go along as well if Tennessee can finish up with Chris Ramirez in the portal.
We need that shortstop. Got to get it.
I mean, he's the guy, he's the guy that we always talk about, kind of the same way we felt about Juke Harris heading into basketball. It's like, hey, we can get all these pieces, but we need the one, like the top guy. Like, we need the big, like, guy, front of the movie poster guy for next season. And that could be this dude.
I got to tell you, the rub still continues, like, in a positive way. I've seen a couple of media entities doing their way too early Omaha 8 for next season.
A lot of Tennessee.
Seeing Tennessee in there.
Let's go. I'm here for it. Maybe we just skip football together. Go straight to basketball and baseball.
That's it.
No. We're going to have some fun this football. Hey, man, we could be you made the point off the air only half jokingly, Bob. It's like if Josh Heupel would emerge from the cave.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody would come out and do some of these interviews like we just had with Greg Polinsky, by the way, if you're just tuning in, GP was fantastic in hour number 2. You got to go listen to the podcast. You will be fired up for basketball listening to Polinsky talk on the show today.
My dad texted me in the middle of the interview, like, Polinsky's got me fired up for basketball.
Yeah,
Let's
right?
just get straight there.
I mean, I wish we had some of that with football. I mean, like, okay, even if you think it's an 8-4 type season, like, let's get out there and talk about these quarterbacks a little bit, man. They're highly touted prospects.
Brag about them.
Yeah, let's
Call
talk.
them awesome.
Put Jim Knowles out there, fake bear,
That's it.
on the scene, and like, let's talk to put your new strength coach out there. Like, let us touch this team a little bit, man, and develop the same connection that we have with basketball and baseball. Would be my completely unsolicited advice to the UT sports information apparatus.
No, right. It doesn't need to be, look, we've talked about this. I'm friends with Coach Barnes and we have him on every once in a while, but he's a busy guy. It's just somebody from the staff, man. That's all. It doesn't need to be hypo. Just got a good staff, capable guys. They can talk about it too.
Like, just talking to Derek, like, even talking just about Derek Owings, what he's done. You don't have to get into the quarterbacks. Like, he'd be someone awesome to talk to.
He might make me feel very inadequate and scared.
You're an Olympic basketball player.
Yeah, I know. I'd tell him that, and he'd be like, well,
I
take
did
your shirt off. Let's see what you got. And then he'd be appalled. But go ahead.
GP was so good on the show today. I didn't have time. One of my little kickers was, if I can get some film of your 3-on-3 competition, and we could get that to GP and have like a detailed breakdown.
Yeah. Poor guy.
I feel like that would be just, I mean, there's I can't put a value on it. It would be outstanding.
Priceless.
It would waste some very valuable time for JP.
Priceless.
All right. Quick timeout. When we continue, we'll go out to Music City, talk to Widespread Panzika USA. Getting set to take on Bears Turks tonight in LA. Stay with us. The Drive continues. More Fan Run Radio coming up.
The Drive.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
It's official. It's summer. And how does East Tennessee do summer? With your Knoxville Smokies, of course. Only 5 homestands remaining. So if you haven't been to a game yet, what are you waiting for? Next week is a huge week with all-you-can-eat Wednesday, Knox Vegas Thirsty Thursday, Friday fireworks, and then Saturday, we're celebrating our country's 250th birthday. America's favorite pastime and fireworks. Is there a better way to celebrate? And come meet Bluey on Sunday. Don't miss the fun. Get your tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Is your yard starting to look more wild than welcoming? Yeah, don't let your landscape be that house on the block. At ECR Total Landscapes, we make sure your outdoor space is something you're proud of. From de-weeding flower beds to leaf blowing, trimming, mulching, and more, completely customizable to your property's specific needs. We'll handle it all. Why spend your weekends sweating it out in the yard when you can just sit back and enjoy it? That's the ECR difference. And right now, new customers can get 10% off your first month of our monthly maintenance package when you sign up for a full calendar year. That's right. Consistent, reliable service at a price that makes it easy to get started. No sweat, no hassle, just a better looking lawn week after week. Call ECR Total Landscapes today and mention promo code FANRUN to save 10% on your first month. Call 865-384-2012 or visit us online at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Citizens National Bank.
Experience the thrill of traveling with C&B's exclusive travel program. Customers age 50 and above with a Plus Perks checking account can participate, ensuring a safe and delightful travel adventure. Take a day trip or an overnight trip. Travel domestic or international, C&B is always on the go.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Hey, Vols fans.
Getting ready for a little World Cup soccer tonight. Less than 5 hours away, Bob. Can you feel the excitement in the air?
I can feel it. I think.
Coming in the air tonight.
There you go.
Was that your drum fill right there?
I kind of did a half.
Yeah. Well, you can't go half cocked. That's a go big or go home drum fill right there, man.
I know.
Let's get Lucas Panzica, who always goes big, with us live from Music City, doing the job he was born to do, sitting around and watching soccer. LP, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm great, guys. I'm home right now, eating out of a watermelon with a spoon and watching some soccer. So life is good.
Eating out of a watermelon with a spoon. Okay. Spitting the seeds.
Slice that thing in half and just go to town.
Hey, Lucas, little pro tip here. I don't know if you've ever tried it. You familiar with tahine?
Oh yeah. I know where you're going.
On watermelon. Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, well, be careful. My grandpa always said you swallow those watermelon seeds, you grow one in your belly. And you're not big enough for all that, Lucas. All right, LP, thoughts on tonight? Final group play game for the U.S. men's national team. I feel like the fever is building, man. It's really cool as a soccer fan to see so many people around our area here in East Tennessee, around the state, and around the country get into the World Cup.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's so fun to see people fully embrace it. Have the watch parties been jumping in Knoxville?
Yeah, I mean, we had a really good one on Friday at Barley's. I mean, it wasn't like, packed out the door or anything, but it was a good turnout and people were into the game. And, when U.S. scores its 2 goals pretty early, and then like attention waned a little bit in the second half because the team is good, man, and they just kind of had it on cruise control.
Yeah, no doubt. It was a little more grinded out, just get in there and get the job done, as opposed to the like Joga Bonito flair that we saw in the Paraguay game. But tonight's interesting, right? How much they rotate the squad. If we see Christian Pulisic make a cameo, sounds like the 4 guys that are on a yellow card are not going to play tonight, and that obviously includes some big names: Fuller and Balogun, Tyler Adams, Chris Richards, looking like they're not going to play tonight. Anthony Robinson too. So I don't know how Mauricio Pochettino walks this line tonight. Where you don't want to risk anything too much, but you also want to kind of maintain this intensity and keep this momentum. And, sitting here watching the Germany game, they're clinched. They won their first 2 games. They've clinched the top of the group, but they put out a pretty full-strength lineup. So I'm intrigued to see what this looks like tonight.
Yeah, I was curious. I was going to ask that question of you from your perspective. I think I just got the answer in terms of what do we see tonight? Because it feels like this is certainly a game that Team USA should win, but there's that fine line between preserving some players, not tempting fate with some of the guys who already have a single yellow card and all of that. That's the part that intrigues me, because that's the real strategy behind it, because it doesn't matter how talented you are, you've got to go approach and think about what's next.
Right. I mean, the 4 guys I mentioned are starters. So that's almost half of the guys that are out on the field, goalkeeper notwithstanding, that are not going to be playing tonight. So that's already some built-in rotation there. And then the question is, how much more? Does Tim Reen get a break? 40 years old, trust him to pick up right where he left off. Does Serginho Dest go out there? He's been an injury-prone player in his career. How do you use Gio Reyna tonight? I'd love to see some of the depth tested. I'd love to see somebody like Ali Zendejas, who we have not really seen in the first two games. He's coming off a phenomenal season for Club America, which for those who don't know is the biggest club in Mexico. It's a massive club in North America, and he's their number 10. He's their captain. I'd love to see him get some run tonight, see what sort of creativity he can provide. Can Ricardo Pepi lead the line and score a goal and get his confidence up a little bit? A lot of moving parts there, but, all eyes are going to be on Christian Pulisic, and if we see him for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, or not at all. And do you just go ahead and sideline Christian? But at that point, assuming he plays against what looks like is going to be Bosnia, he would have gone almost 3 weeks without playing.
I wouldn't play him, LP. I would sit all the yellow card guys, and I would just sit Pulisic. And first of all, it's just, I think without a ton of pressure tonight, it would be cool to get some of the other guys on this team some run out there. And I was reading a thing on The Athletic about a game they played last year. They had just beaten Paraguay in a friendly, I think, and then they're playing Uruguay. And Uruguay started their first team, and we started a bunch of second teamers and beat them like 4 or 5-1. So I think that's I think that's what Poch is going to do, and I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, no, I remember that Uruguay result. That was kind of insane, and that was kind of a low point for Bielsa down there managing Uruguay, who also have not really been inspiring in this tournament. But yeah, to the U.S., I'm torn on the Christian thing, man. I get it. I totally see both sides of it. I've kind of been in the camp of I'd love to see him just get out there for 15 minutes and get his legs back under him. But also, it's not like Christian's just going to forget how to play soccer or fall out of shape here in the next, couple of weeks. He's going to be in full team training. He has been in full team training this week. So I think I'll be good with however Pochettino approaches it. I'm not steadfast, really. Matt Freese, I expect to stay in goal. I'd love to see him called into action a little more, to be honest. We have yet to see him really thrust into a high-pressure situation apart from the Gold Cup run last year where he was solid. He did some good things, especially in that penalty shootout win against Costa Rica. But it'll be a good balance, I think, of the guys that are on yellows that we know aren't playing. I'm sure they'll be very cautious with Christian Pulisic, and a chance to figure out what you have with some of these guys that you brought that we didn't get the chance to see. And also the test that Turkey will provide that Paraguay and Australia really can't. On paper, at least, this is a team that, honestly, guys, is like the flop of the tournament so far. Mm-hmm. To go 2 games, no goals, 2 losses, and eliminated already is pretty shocking. Like, this was supposed to be the game that this group was building towards, and it's a non-factor. It doesn't affect the knockout rounds whatsoever, but they are, when they play their game, a team that wants the ball, wants to pin opponents with their possession, and does have exciting talent, like young, burgeoning talent in Europe with Arda Güler and the season he just had at Real Madrid. Hakan Çalhanoğlu has been a high-level midfielder playing in Italy for a long time. He's the captain of that team. So they're going to be playing for pride tonight. They are going to just try to go out on a good note. I don't see any sense in Turkey benching a lot of their key players. Like, I don't know what good that does them. So, I think they'll be full strength. And I hope Turkey puts on a nice performance, because I think that'd be a good test for the U.S. to, just see something a little bit differently. Because once you get deeper into the knockout round, you're not going to be playing the Australias of the world that are just letting you have possession and trying to stay compact and then hit you on the break. Hopefully, the U.S. has an opportunity to kind of get a glimpse into some of what they'll see in the knockout rounds after Bosnia, who very much is going to take the Paraguay-Australia approach.
Lucas, for the U.S. tonight, is there any one of the replacement players who aren't, bottom of the roster guys, but guys who are like first off the bench that you think we're going to see a lot of tonight that might be able to play a factor in that round of 32 and potentially round of 16 game?
Yeah, I mentioned Zendejas. That is a guy that I really am excited to see. I'm assuming we see him tonight. It'd be shocking if Christian Pulisic started today. So I wouldn't be shocked if Zendejas got the start tonight. It's been an odd thing with him because Mauricio Pochettino hasn't really looked towards him in this year and a half where he's been the manager. He hasn't called him up much. And then he made the cut for the 26-man roster. And it was a little bit out of left field. It made sense for him to make the cut. He's played at a high level for a big club here this past season in Mexico. But when you talk about a guy that can come in and just unlock some things, let's say the U.S. is playing Bosnia and they don't get that early goal that they got against Paraguay and Australia. Like when you get that early goal, then it's all the momentum is on your side, right? And you're kind of playing without that pressure with that lead, and you know you're going to have the ball and have the advantage. But we have not seen the U.S. go up against one of these teams that just wants to defend and not get that early goal. And you see these games all the time where the underdog is able to not concede in the first half, and then next thing you know, it's scoreless in the 60th, 65th minute. Pressure's kind of building on a team like the U.S., and the underdog in this scenario is building in confidence, where suddenly it feels realistic for them. In those moments, you need a player like that can come in and just find a different creative outlet and a spark that can unlock a few things. Gio Reyna can be that. I feel like he's just going to be a maverick for this team off the bench in this tournament. And Zendejas can absolutely be that guy that can take players on, that can pick up the ball in pockets and can pull strings. So I do hope we see him get some good run today. I'd love to see him start.
A team that I talked to you about when the World Cup began, because I kind of think a little bit in the past, and a team that resonated with me was Brazil, and I was wondering how they stack up, and I wanted to kind of do another check gate on them. It feels like they're in a good position. I know they played to a draw with Morocco, but they've won their other two matches since then, and now they're the question is who they face in the round of 32. But how do you feel Brazil is stacking up at this point?
I feel like they're growing into themselves a little bit. You know, they look like more of a unit against Scotland than against Morocco. Now that, the strength of opponent is much lower, no doubt. And Scotland did them a few favors. I'm not sure what they were doing with their approach, trying to play out of the back and play with the ball. And it cost them. And an early mistake, Brazil's up 1-0, and you just know that thing's over. But I do kind of like the way the bones of the team are setting up with Vinicius Jr. as the star. This Brazil team is not like the dance around an opponent, dance through an opponent, beautiful play and flair squad that, the best Brazil teams of those 5 titles are. Honestly, they've been searching for answers now for 24 years since winning that last title in 2002. And so we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, the desperation to go out and get a coach like Carlo Ancelotti, who is not Brazilian, but is one of the best managers to ever walk the earth, to come in, stabilize them, give them a foundation. And we're starting to see that a little bit. My hopes aren't up because Brazil does this, that they win the group. I mean, Brazil hasn't not finished at the top of the group in a World Cup since maybe the 70s, like 74, 78. So they did what they were supposed to do in the group stage. And so we'll see when things heat up. I think it's likely that they get Japan. They're going to get the runner-up out of that group. So right now the Netherlands has a massive goal differential advantage. Probably Japan that finishes second in that group. We'll see what happens with that later today. But I'm cautiously optimistic that this Brazil team is not yet the best version of themselves. They didn't, start out roaring out of the gates, but I'm hoping that as each game passes and they continue to get the job done, they're a much more complete unit as the tournament goes on, with Vinicius Jr. absolutely as the difference maker. And it's cool to see him kind of take over. This is his team, and there he is right at the top of the Golden Boot race.
Chris in the text box wants to know who the U.S. will play next week. What's the path forward for the U.S., Lucas?
It looks like it's going to be Bosnia and Herzegovina. So that it's like a 99% probability that it is Bosnia. We know we're playing a third-place team, and honestly, man, with this expanded format, like it can get so convoluted on. Usually it's straightforward. It's like the winner of this group plays the runner-up of this group, and the runner-up of this group plays the winner of that group. But now with these 8 third-place teams advancing, there are 8 group winners that will play third-place teams. How those are determined, to be honest, I'm not totally sure at this point, but all of the metrics tell you that it's like a 99% probability that it will be Bosnia that the U.S. sees. So like I said, that's a similar profile to what you saw in Paraguay and Australia. They're going to want to be pesky. They're going to want to frustrate you, stay compact. They're going to want to capitalize on set pieces. And so it will be a game the U.S. will absolutely be favored in come next Wednesday.
Edin Dzeko, who's 40 now, plays for Bosnia and Herzegovina. I was reading a thing about them last night. I think they've won like 9 or 10 games, or haven't lost in their last 9 or 10 games, including punching out your boys, Italy. Not to bring up bad memory for you. And I think they beat some other giant of Europe to basically survive. And they won both of those games in penalty kicks. at the end. So this
it was
is
Wales. They
Wales,
beat
yep.
Wales in penalties in that semifinal, and then Italy in penalties, which was a wild game. Italy took an early lead, and it was, okay, here we go. Italy's finally going to get back to a World Cup. Oh, my God, Ecuador just scored.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Ecuador just took the lead. They're going crazy.
Wow.
They have to win this game. They have to beat Germany to move on the set piece. The set pieces, man, that's awesome.
Set pieces.
But, yeah, they knocked out Italy in comeback fashion. Italy took a lead in that game and then had a horrible, horrible straight red card in the first half. And then you started to see the Italians fall apart. Bosnia was able to scratch out a goal and then just force its way to penalties. And, in fact, the kid, the 21-year-old that made the game-winning penalty in that shootout to put Bosnia into the World Cup is a kid named Esmir Baraktarovic that is from Appleton, Wisconsin, born to parents of Bosnian descent, and could have gone the path of representing the U.S. He went to the New England Revolution Academy. I've done his games. He's played at Geodis Park in Nashville plenty. He's now playing in the Netherlands. But he's a bright young talent for that group. Edin Dzeko is the figurehead and the legend that plays sparingly, and if anything, is like another coach on the field or on the bench. But they're going to be pesky, man. And like you said, as bad in a place as Italy is, they're still one of the giants of the sport. And they didn't fear them. They went toe-to-toe with them. So they're going to bring everything next Wednesday.
And if the U.S. can win, then it's my understanding that a potential matchup with Mo Salah and Egypt in the round of 16.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, there's potential to see Egypt. There's potential to see Belgium, too, that has been pretty underwhelming in this tournament so far. So my hope is, you see whatever team gives you the best chance to move on to the quarterfinal, because as we talked about, I think quarterfinal is success for this team. But Egypt has been impressive. I mean, Mo Salah finally got his World Cup moment, scoring a goal for a pretty big draw. It was a good result for them against Belgium the other day. And Belgium has just been, they've looked like what they are, which is kind of an aged out, version of this golden generation that never really reached the heights they were expected to reach, with a couple of really talented parts and pieces that are younger and in the prime of their career, like a Jeremy Doku from Manchester City, elite winger and dribbler. But obviously, Egypt would be the more favorable matchup there. And you just try to find a way to survive and advance.
Lucas Padzika, 104.5 The Zone, Titans Radio with us this afternoon. All right, Lucas, before we let you run, I'm looking at your Twitter feed. You guys, of course, your guy is out, so you've got free reign. You get to do whatever you want on The Zone. And you guys had the lasting impact of the World Cup segment on your show. I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are on that and what kind of response you got from the audience. What do you think will be the lasting impact of this World Cup on the United States?
I am so fascinated to find out. I mean, I don't think it's waving a magic wand and suddenly soccer is right up there next to basketball and football, but I do think it will kind of invite a whole new category of people that are not going to, with the snap of a finger, become diehard soccer fans, but will have their mind open to it in a way that it wasn't before, probably, and that maybe will gravitate towards a local team. Like, for me, the hope is that folks in Nashville after the World Cup are like, okay, that was awesome. All right, here's Nashville SC, who's at the top of the league right now, that plays a really fun brand of soccer and has some legitimate stars in this league. Or, people like yourself, Russ, that gravitate towards a Premier League team, and then just you get hooked and you start to follow along. I have friends that have started to be like, okay, what is this? Let me get FIFA. Let me see what's up. It can be
FIFA is a gateway drug. Yes, the video game.
Absolutely. But it can be a lot. A lot of people hopefully don't bite off more than they can chew. It's like, whoa, okay, there's a lot of leagues here with a lot of players. But I do hope that for the younger generation of American fans, I do see kids running around in Messi and Neymar jerseys all over the place. And I feel like those are going to be the most influential people in all of this. So it's not so much the 40-year-old guys that are like, okay, let me get into this. Some of them probably will have their mind open to it more than they would before. But my hope is for people that are kids that are 10 years old and For me, it was the Landon Donovan Algeria moment when I was, I think, going into my freshman year of high school, that I was already a soccer guy, but that hooked so many people. So this team going on a run, I think, could hook so many people that at a young age where they're so impressionable are just in and start to fall in love with it. And maybe 20 years down the road is where you really start to see that popularity come to fruition. In the short term, I do hope more people get into it and that MLS is able to coast on this wave a little bit too, from a player development standpoint. And just this sort of, I love the spotlight it's put on the U.S. and how much fun fans are having when they come to the U.S. and the interactions have been nothing but positive. I mean, it's awesome. So who knows? Maybe it prompts one or two players to come over to MLS in their prime for a new challenge, for something different. But the most important thing is for MLS to just continue to pour into player development and continue to feed as many players into those top leagues as possible.
Yeah, I had some dialogue on with some folks on Twitter about this earlier. I was responding to a tweet from Jermaine Jones, who was a great player for the national team 12 years ago. And, he was saying that the American team will benefit for more players playing in Europe and, the Klinsmann stuff. And I responded, I think he's correct. Like, I think that's what we're seeing this year is our team is made off of players that are playing at the very highest levels in Europe. But I think long-term, for the benefit of American soccer, MLS is key. And I think seeing that league continue to grow, and I'm talking about like a 10 plus, 25, 50-year plan, right? Is like eventually that league can be on par, because you just look at where it's come in 30 years, right? I mean, that league was a joke when it first, and I know this is before you were born, Lucas, but I mean, it was silly when it started after the 94 World Cup. And now it's a serious thing. Like it's a serious league. And just in the last 10 years, it's gotten so much better. So I think that's got to continue, because I do think there will be a day, again, well over a decade from now, maybe 25, 30, 40 years, where it is a top league and you can win the World Cup with a group of players coming from the American League. Not there right now, not even close, but I think both of those things, hey, we need players playing in Europe right now, and then eventually we've got to continue to grow our domestic league. I think both those things can be true.
I think it can be a high-level league in the way that Serie A in Brazil is a high-level league, where there is so much quality, but ultimately it's not the pinnacle of club soccer, where there are these giant Brazilian teams, and there are Brazilian stars in their prime playing in Brazil for Flamengo and Corinthians, Palmeiras, all these huge clubs. But writ large, a young Brazilian player rising through the ranks in Brazil is going to get a big money move to Europe at some point to truly test himself. It doesn't mean Brazil is not an elite soccer nation, right? 5 World Cups. So it's a country that basically perfected the sport. The problem is, I think there will always be a ceiling on MLS because of the lack of promotion relegation in terms of it getting really taken seriously. And promotion relegation is never going to happen here. Arthur Blank and Robert Kraft are never going to sign up for that. It's just not going to happen. It goes against American sports culture. But the best thing we can do is just fully embrace it, man. And it's okay for us to have our version of soccer. It's okay. We can call it a field. We don't have to call it a pitch. We can say 0 instead of nil. Like, all these things are perfectly okay for us to do it our way, because every other country on the planet does it their way. So I'm with you, man. Like, the profile of the league can absolutely continue to shoot upwards. And there is a world where the U.S. can be a contender in the World Cup on the men's side. Obviously, they have been on the women's side for generations at this point. But, and it's okay that MLS will never be the Premier League. It just won't. Like in Europe, basketball, the quality of basketball is going up in Europe, right? We're seeing more Europeans in the NBA than ever. None of those European leagues will ever be the NBA, but they can continue to raise their level. And I think it's similar, just flip-flopped with the MLS, if that makes sense. The quality can go up, absolutely. The profile of the U.S. men's national team and the standard can continue to go up. And it's okay for it to be our own thing. And it's fine, whatever. We don't have relegation. We got playoffs. And it's okay because it's ours and it's the world's game and we can do our own version of it.
I think MLS can overtake the Premier League someday. And that is the most American attitude. you can possibly have.
That's fine.
So
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Many years from now. All right, we got to run. Lucas dropped a writ large, and when Lucas starts talking in Latin, it's probably time to wrap up the.
Yeah, okay, let's put a bow on this thing.
LP, we appreciate it, man. We'll talk again soon.
All right, boys. Talk to y'all soon. Thanks.
Thanks, Lucas.
Lucas Panzica, 104.5 The Zone, Titans Radio in Nashville, breaking it down with us. We got to take a quick timeout. Back to wrap things up right after this.
For the fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Vol fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue. It's more than just dinner, it's a destination.
You have any uniform or equipment needs for your sports team, or you need screen print, embroidery stuff for your business or organization, give our friends at SM Athletics a call, and they will take excellent care of you. Their phone number is 865-966-3434. You could also go online to smathletics.com. Let's get a call from Joshy Boy before we wrap things up. Good afternoon, Joshy Boy. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon. How are you guys doing? Good.
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Yeah, Bob, I agree with you. I think if Tennessee went after anybody from Michigan's roster, I would want the Thiem kid because he's big, 7'2", and lengthy, and I love the 7-footers.
As Sir Mix-a-Lot said, he's long, he's strong, and he's down to get the friction on.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was just saying to Russ during the break, CBS Sports put out their way too early mock draft for 2027 and first round picks. And Juke Harris is in there in the 20s, as is Mustafa Thiam. So, yeah, it'd be good to get that guy if we could.
Because Tennessee was one of his teams on his list, Bob, right before he committed to Michigan.
Supposedly, yeah. I mean, I know we were talking in pursuit of him, but yeah. So we'll see.
Gotcha. Russ, what are we going to do? Our Braves are struggling, man.
Yes, they are.
It's done. Baseball is stupid, Joshy boy. Just let
We're
it go.
going to lose the division, Russ.
I mean, the only question at this point is, will the Phillies catch the Braves before the All-Star break?
What, they 5 or 5.5 games
I think
back
it's
now?
4.5, what I saw yesterday.
Wow.
We suck.
And we're going to get swept in San Francisco this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
By that
train
wreck.
going to San Francisco.
So on a positive note, guys, what do you guys think about us getting the Ramirez kid, most likely from Cal Baptist?
I mean, baseball is awesome. It's the best sport ever, Joshy boy, and Chris Ramirez is the missing link. What we need to get back to Omaha. I mean, Chris Ramirez at short, the kid from Air Force at second base. Name me a better middle infield in the SEC. You can't do it.
Yeah. And who's the kid maybe we might get from Wright State?
Oh, Duncan? Is it Andrew Duncan?
Yeah.
That's if we believe Volsack.
Yeah.
Volsack is reporting that Andrew Duncan is committed.
We may be talking later tonight saying in Volsack we trust.
Yep.
Never know.
We might be. Guys, out the door. I know why Bear's really taking the day off. He's probably getting drunk with Philly. See ya.
Oh, God.
Phil and Bear drunk together? Smashed! That sounds like bad news.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this soccer game tonight.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
I'm glad, man. 10 p.m. Be sure to join me and Walker. Post game, we need some analysis.
I'll do. I don't know about that, but I'll definitely watch the game. But I wish you the best.
The U.S. of A. What do you mean you wish us the best? Like, you're in this too. You're an American.